What's up, everybody? It is I, Sigma, and we are back with episode 37 of the BBET GamesCast. I'm joined by Superman Jeff.
What's going on, people? It's your favorite superhero.
Hey.
As well as Mr. Gamer.
Hello there.
And Blue Bones.
It's your boy. What's going on, y'all?
We have the whole crew back once again. Back like we never left.
Yeah.
But, as always, we're going to start with what we've been playing. Anyone want to go first? I would throw that out to
Who did we not hear from last
the
week?
audience.
Me.
All right.
I mean,
what have
that's
you been
actually true
playing?
because he was not here.
So I've actually been playing, and Casey, Blue, I apologize for this.
Oh,
You don't say Fortnite?
No.
he's going to say...
No, you good.
No.
What's he gonna
No.
say, Sigma?
He's going to say
I'm
Pokemon.
I'm going to say Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Pokemon.
Ironically, Jeff is the only one happy about that.
Yeah, so I am about 2/3 of the way done with my breeding. I've also been playing, I've been playing a lot of D&D. I had a very interesting, had a very interesting session last night. I am playing a wizard who is a defense attorney. So it's
There you go.
So it's Phoenix Wright-esque, and obviously it's still going to be D&D, so there's going to be some elements of combat. Well,
Is he a transient?
no.
Huh?
No.
I don't know what that means. Is that a D&D term?
I don't even know what he was saying. I just said no.
You like people who just bounce from one spot to another.
No, he's calling him a hobo. He's asking.
Oh, okay. I'm like, is this D&D related?
No, that's just basic.
No.
So
So anytime my character has to do any sort of combat action, I'm rolling 1s, 2s, or 3s. But if it's like investigation or any other sort of non-combative spell, I got nat 20s all day. Like they're just coming out of my ears. Like
yeah.
So you can solve a crime, you just can't apprehend the bad guy.
You know what? You know what? Even in Jeff terms, that is actually very accurate. I can point and say it was you, but don't ask me to go and chase. I'm gonna go get somebody else to do that.
You got a body like Mr. Glass.
He's like,
I mean, that's just what my character.
That's cool.
like Detective Conan.
And then finally, 2 other games have been in my attention. 2 Point Hospital. And that's on Xbox Game Pass.
Right, yeah, I saw that hit Game Pass. How
Is that good?
Okay, so just put a podcast on in the background and it's a very low-key hospital simulator. Like you're not doing anything like Surgeon Simulator. You're just making a room for general practice or for pharmacy, and then you hire nurses, and if people die, you have to suck up the ghosts of their dead bodies, stuff like that.
So it's a management sim, but for a hospital.
Yes, but it's like it's just so low key, and they attempt to inject some humor into it, but it's on Game Pass, it's on a console and PC, by the way. So
nice.
So why not check it out?
Why not?
That's the power of Game Pass right
That's
there.
what's up. I'll go next.
Power to the people.
What you guys think, man?
This week, I just finished a game for review called Yes, Your Grace.
What was that? Repeat that.
Great.
Yes, Your Grace. Like
okay, F Your Grace. Like
Yes.
No, it's Yes, Your Grace. So it's also a sim. It's a kingdom management sim. Because you're the king.
I did
watch
that. I saw you posted that. Yeah. I didn't know the name of it, but
so it's kind of like a Game of Thrones simulator in a way, but this game does not focus that much on the management portion. Like you can do it, and honestly, like whether or not you're good at it is kind of besides the point. Like they really make it so that it's like stressful to you.
Easy.
Like that's the main thing. Not that it's easy. It's stressful.
Oh.
Because they really want you to put you in the shoes of the king, who story-wise is very, very stressed. and honestly, I think it works beautifully because the game's story is actually really good. And like they put you in a situation where you're the king, you have all these responsibilities. Your wife, the queen, has only given you daughters, so you have no heir to the throne. So you guys are stressed about that. Like your kids are also like kind of like they're teenage girls at this point, so they're also like super big headaches.
Yeah.
But then not to mention their marrying age for like lords and kings and whatnot in the area who are like, hey, you need this? Why don't you marry your daughter to my son, or why don't you marry your daughter to me, and you'll get this army, or you'll get this gold, you'll get these resources. And it's like, well, I really need that army because there's some guys who are planning to come invade the kingdom.
Yeah,
but it's like, do I want to?
It's my daughter.
Yeah, exactly. And they really make you care about those characters. So it's like, look, either we're all gonna die, or you got to marry this guy, and he's not that bad a guy. Come on, like.
Yeah, I can't play games like that, man.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Like,
it's stressful.
Wait.
I'm like,
Time out. I often hear Blue saying, "I can't play this. I don't play this." Like maybe it's just the Jeff rubbing off on me, but I have to ask, good sir, why is it that you can't?
Okay, it's not that I can't; it's that I won't.
There we go.
I pay for games to enjoy them, and I know what I enjoy, and I do branch out every now and then to try some stuff out. But I like what I like.
Fair, but I will say, like on the opposite end of that, to play something that actively kind of fights against you or makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I treat that as kind of like how someone who would watch like a movie that's about like a real world event that was like traumatic or something.
Yeah,
I kind of want to learn about that experience or to hear that story because the story is interesting to me. And in this case, like the story is really good. Like there are some twists. You can affect it in certain ways, but in all honesty, the management portion really does take a back seat. So if you're coming to this like, I really want control over a kingdom and I want to set this and that, you're probably not going to get that out of it. Instead, it really just serves the purpose of putting you in the shoes of the character you're playing so that you know what he feels when certain things happen. And it really makes it that much more difficult to make some of the decisions you get forced into or have to try to figure out a way out of. So I really did enjoy it. And it's only like $20 on Steam. I think it's supposed to come to consoles in the future, but right now it's just on PC. Other than that, I think there was something else I played, but the only thing I can think of right now is Rainbow Six Siege because I've been playing that all yesterday. Earlier, before this podcast started, I was trying to rank up a bit because we're playing that on stream tonight with Escapist, and I need to be at least rank 10 so that we can do the unranked playlist. Otherwise, I don't think we can play together in the newcomer section because I'm a super noob. But what I will say about Rainbow Six is we were talking about it a little bit earlier. It is very much so like if Call of Duty and Overwatch had a baby. Like
Overwatch is life.
Well, Overwatch was very influential, but I'm trying to did Rainbow Six come out after Overwatch?
I'm pretty sure. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Because at this point, Overwatch is what, like 4 years old? I think Rainbow Six is like 4 or 5 years old as well. So they might have been developed near around the same time even.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Team Fortress 2 kind of is the pioneer of this team-based thing. Yeah. And Rainbow Six was always about teamwork. So it really does work. Like, if you ground it in a more realistic setting, like the operators, even though they're way more than Overwatch, they're a lot more in line with each other. Like, they can do a lot of the same things, but they might have just one trick up their sleeve that nobody else can do. You know what I mean? So it makes it more versatile in the matchups. But honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's all about positioning. It's about gathering intel on like the area. Like, you got the little drone cameras that you can roll around on the ground. Like, you can come in from the top. You can like mark enemies for your teammates. Like, you call out positions and stuff. Like, it's really tactical. It's really fun, intense, and it feels good. Like, matches go fairly quick. Even if you die like early on, like, and you're watching the rest of the match, it's still like a fun watch. So like, I never really felt like I was getting frustrated. And as I played more matches, like, I was starting to understand everything better. Like, it doesn't take that long to kind of get the hang of it. Like, there's even situations that you can do like that are literal training, where you're up against like AI bots that will just help you wrap your head around what you can do.
And the speed of the game and everything like that.
Yeah, because it's a whole lot of fun. Like, I've been sleeping on it for a really long time. Like, I've always heard good things about it.
Yeah.
I just bought it on Xbox as well because I was playing it on PC. So hopefully I'm going to get some more time in Rainbow Six going forward and see how much better I can actually get at that.
So, when it comes to the release dates, Rainbow Six Siege actually came out a year before Overwatch. So they must have snuck into the Blizzard offices, stole the plans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. That's what happened.
That must have happened, bro. But yeah, okay. I just wanted to give you all that.
Yeah, so I mean,
info.
those, but Call of Duty and Overwatch, if those are your points of reference and you haven't touched Siege yet, that's a very accurate way of describing it.
Okay.
But what else? What else you got to play? That's it for me.
Jeff, what you got, bro?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
So I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Just
a little touch. There's some spots I need to fill in, so I've been doing some breeding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, working on some matchups, seeing what works, what doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put all my legendaries in the bank.
You don't see what? Never mind. Go ahead.
So interesting thing, they added new dens. So you have a Mewtwo den.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can go and fight Mewtwo, but you can't capture him.
What's the point of finding him?
He gives you a item, a very unique item. Forgot what the item does, but I did read it a while ago. It gives you a very unique item that allows you to do something. Oh, so basically you can swap out a move.
For what?
For another move during combat.
During combat?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you get to choose the move?
I'm not sure how the mechanic works, but the item does, from what I read, allows you to switch moves so you're only allowed to have those 4 moves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can, I think you tie it to one move to another and allows you to switch those moves during, so essentially giving you a 5th move, kind of.
What?
That sounds crazy. Because I always felt like 4 moves was very limiting for the Pokemon.
I do, because it's like you watch the anime. It's like I feel like they know way more than 4 moves.
Yeah,
it's
like just
hey,
let my Pokemon keep learning stuff.
Yeah,
like,
let them learn.
Arsenal.
Let them learn. I mean, let it be like, kind of like Final Fantasy. You drop down, hit that menu, hit those moves. That's what he's going to do.
I think I would prefer that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should have like physical moves, but I get it. It kind of certain moves in combination with other moves would just make
too OP.
Yeah, make it too ridiculous.
But if
it's
everyone's
like a move
Pokemon can do that, then if everyone's OP, then it's all even.
But then people wouldn't die. Like it'd just be super long battle.
We talking about Pokemon. You talking about Altered Carbon?
Oh my gosh.
Nobody's talking about Altered Carbon.
So and then they added Squirtle, Wartortle, Charmander, and Charmeleon dens. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of catch those that are
old school starters.
Lower evolution, as opposed to just breed them, because you can catch them and they'll come with more EVs, and they'll come with kind of like better stats. I don't think they're Gigantamax. I think they're just regular Dynamax. These are just regular versions. They do have a Dynamax Charizard den where you can go in and catch him in his whole fire coming out of his mouth looking situation.
Couldn't he always do that? They just added that?
No, that's been on there, but it's a rare den, so he only has like a 2% chance to spawn or something like that.
Gosh.
Oh wow.
All right.
Like no
so just a little bit of clarification. It's not the move you get to switch out; it's the ability.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
So basically, in battle, if a Pokemon has, like, let's just say Magikarp typically starts with Swift Swim, you can switch that out for a different ability mid-battle.
Oh, okay, I got
Which
you.
ability is it? Is it like a random one, or
so there's typically 3 levels of of ability. There's the first standard one, there's the second more rare one, and then there's the Dream World ability.
Oh, Dream World.
Yes.
You're in a whole other plane of existence now.
Yeah.
Well, you see, that's what happens when you know so much about Pokemon in the
I know.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I know.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. I saw it coming a mile away.
Of this hole.
but the idea is that it a Pokemon that has 2 or more abilities, you don't get to choose which one. It just changes.
It's a random one. Okay.
Yeah, like it just changes for you. But if the ability isn't helping you, it's like, oh well, I know this person has a different ability, so boom, and it just gets switched.
I want to go and I want to try that out because I'll just take my Mewtwo in there to fight Mewtwo and see how that turns out.
Ditto fight.
little clone battle. Speaking of that, I did watch the CGI movie. That was very interesting. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It was
I did like the way
the same as the original one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Only thing that's certain things stood out to me. One of the biggest things was like the fire on Ponyta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way the fire looked on coming off of it. It was like very more realistic than what it would look like in the actual Pokemon anime, the way it came, the way it was in the original movie. So that did look very well. I liked it. I didn't think it was. I was a little reluctant on the full CGI and the way some of the stuff looked, but I liked it. It looked.
Yeah, I saw like trailers and stuff for it. Like the quality of the CGI like looked really good.
Yeah.
So like that really made me want to see. Like I want to see if Starboy will be into that because he likes Pokemon, but I tried to get him to watch the show and he kind of like
he's like cool, where's the Switch?
Where's the Switch?
Right, like he kind of got bored, or whatever. But maybe the movie will capture his attention a bit more.
It might.
I do have one question for you, Jeff. As someone who's seen both the original on VHS and this new one, how would you compare? How would you compare the endings, the ending scene? Because obviously, throughout the internet, it's like, oh, this is the scene where boys cry, and we all know what that scene is.
Yeah. You talking about when Ash got turned to stone?
Yes.
I felt like I felt it a little bit more.
Okay.
Because I remember the first time seeing this movie, I saw it as a kid and went to the movies to see it. That's when they were giving out Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember the gold ones from Burger King. Y'all remember them?
Oh, I remember those. I don't think that's what they were giving you at the movies, though.
So, I think it still hit those chords, but I feel like it was more impactful. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. I mean, I knew it was coming up, but it was
like
still
cinematically.
Yeah, I felt like there was more, if that makes sense, more emotion. Now, my question is, did they just overlay the original audio over the CGI, or did they?
That's a good
remaster.
Yeah,
had them redo their voice work.
Yeah,
that's a good question. We should research that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, because I did feel like it resonated a little bit more as opposed to. And I guess it could be different because the last time I seen that movie, I mean, I was a kid.
But like, if they're doing like basically a remake, like why would they need to redo the voice cast? If the audio was fine, right? They just redid all the visuals, made it look better.
They're definitely going to remaster and do some better
with the sound.
Design,
but I don't think that any.
But would they need to re-record it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see them re-recording the voice, especially if they own everything.
Okay. What else, Jeff?
And I think I've been playing a lot of Magic Arena. So I've been playing Magic Arena. Yeah, I know.
It's all good.
But playing with there, working on some decks. I made finished off my green and white deck. There's still a few cards I'm missing. The good thing is when you do unlock packs from using the gold on there, like you don't have to put real money in there, which I haven't.
Right.
So I go in and I get my packs for my gold, and it gives you materials to make other cards. Mm-hmm. Because I had played it previously for a while, I already had a lot of materials, so I was able to build a deck from scratch. So just because you don't own a particular card, you can still make that card if you have that rarities material.
That's the good thing about Arena.
I love that.
Like having it physically. Now, physically, you get to look your opponent in the face and talk smack. That's worth everything, right? But this is a close second.
It is. It still gives you that feel. Like a lot of times you hold on to cards. You might only have like 2 lands left. Yeah. They don't know that. I might not need to play a land. So I'm going to hold those 2 lands and let them think that.
Exactly.
Let them wonder what those 2 cards in my hand. Mm-hmm. It adds another layer of play. Like playing stuff on your opponent's turn as opposed to playing on yours, leaving mana untapped. Stuff like that. Just small details. But the best thing is being able to, without me going to buy packs and hoping I randomly get that card physically, or even buying that card right out physically, I can make that card from the materials that I already possess, which I think adds another layer to the game.
And there's no mystery about the rules and how cards work because
Yes.
it's all
It's right
ingrained
on
in the
there.
game. Yeah, that's
And
that's
it's-
one thing that me and my girl struggle with. Sometimes I be forgetting exactly how some of these mechanics go, and vice versa. You know, sometimes she doesn't, and so we start getting into an argument. We got to look it up and like, oh, okay, that was right.
Yeah.
You were wrong, blah, blah, blah. And no matter what the result is, none of us are really happy. So-
Yeah, it's like, okay. The good thing is you can
This is
click on
free,
the
right?
card and it will tell you
exactly.
what the mechanic is and how the
Yeah.
mechanic works.
Yeah.
So you might be playing against somebody you never seen that card before, but you can then click on
You
that
pick it
card
up and
and
you're
look at it yourself.
And technically, you can do that in the real game too. You can say, "Hey, can I see your card?" You take a look at it, but you have to know all the
What
rules
that mechanic
and
is, yep.
speed of the mechanics. That's the biggest thing. What a lot of people don't realize about Magic, it's really speed. You know,
Yes.
how fast can your cards react to the others?
And the good thing is it tells you when there's breaks in between.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
when you're
That's the
learning
thing.
physically, when you can play stuff, it's a
People
little
be
bit
finessing you.
difficult to get the curve. But in the game, it'll tell you like, okay, I played
Yeah,
something.
you got a chance.
Now
to
the
do
ball
something.
passes to you. You have a chance to react.
Yeah,
Once you do that, whether
You
you play
never
something
really
or not,
miss the
you pass the
reaction.
ball back to me. So it tells you those. It teaches you on a higher level than just teaching somebody physically. So I mean, I do love the game. It's a great game.
I feel like that's a better way to teach someone.
It is.
definitely.
Like I think the games do a very good job at teaching, especially Arena the way it is
100%.
now. It does I could teach somebody, but I'm gonna, because I know you subconsciously assume somebody else, whether they know or not, you subconsciously assume they know certain things or understand the meaning behind certain things. The
Or
game
you
doesn't
assume
assume
you
that.
know certain things.
Exactly. So I mean, I might have a ruling wrong, or
Yeah,
I might
yeah.
have a way a mechanic works differently. But the game, it's the rule. There's no
Right. It's like this
no
is
in
how
between.
That happened to me when I was trying to learn how to play the Pokemon trading card game, because Jeff will remember it. Like it was a craze back in middle school. Everyone had Pokemon cards, but no one played that game properly.
No, we just like play the cards. There was no
Yeah,
there was no
mana.
mana.
People would throw the card
there was no
down
elements.
and be like, "Oh, I got more attack power to use. I win. Give me your card." Like we were stealing each other's Pokemon cards, son. Like,
Yo,
when I
don't know what it is. When I was younger, you know, I had some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I had some Pokemon cards. Never took the time to learn how to play. I was like, "Hey, mom, I got the cards, just like everybody else. Let's do it." So me and my brother just kind of made up rules, and it sounds like that's what y'all were doing too. You know what I'm saying?
But it was like it was school wide. People were legit just kind of gambling, like
at school?
Because there was no
yes,
the cards didn't come with like a pamphlet.
right. Yeah,
on
they
how
tell
to
you
play.
these are the rules. You have
Yeah,
to go
and
to
there was
a
no
website.
digital.
No, there
There
was
was
a
no
website.
digital.
I went to like the trading card game website, and that's
wow.
where they had like a little interactive thing that taught you the game. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, we've been messing up."
Oh man!
Like I lost so many cards. Like that's not how you play this game.
That was around the same time
That was
as
money, yo.
AOL Online. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
wasn't easy pulling up that website either.
Nah, not everybody had internet either. So it was like,
But he did.
and school didn't have it. You just had like Reader Rabbit and stuff like that. So it was like,
Yo, I remember thinking Ask Jeeves was better than Google. I was like, Google don't even look cool. Like, I'm actually asking a butler here. Like, come on.
oh man, I remember Ask Jeeves. But
But yeah,
yeah.
we're getting off
So
topic.
if you want to learn how to play Magic, Magic Arena is a great place to start. It's free. You unlock
Yeah,
free
true.
decks. It gives you free decks to play with,
I'm gonna
and you also unlock more decks just for playing and leveling up. So it's a
And
great
if
game.
you already have physical cards, you can put them in the game. Well,
Only
sorry, the latest stuff.
only the decks. Only if you
Yeah.
buy the pre-constructed decks.
You're
Also,
right, you're
most
right.
booster packs come with a code where it allows you to put, I think it puts a random card in your deck or something. But I do know pre-releases, they come with a card that
Yeah.
allows you to get the pre-release card, and you also any pre-made decks you buy, comes with the code to get that deck in the actual game.
Right.
Cool.
And
Wait,
that's
what's
what
it called
I'm
in the store? Is it Magic Monostrike?
No, that's the mobile game. It's not mobile yet. Mobile is coming this year though. It's at 2020. The
For
mobile
Arena?
game's coming. Yes.
So Magic Arena is just on PC.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on
right
PC
now,
only
okay.
right now.
Downloading right now.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah,
Oh,
remind me to
man.
do that because I want to check that out.
Yeah, man, it's fun.
All right,
I
Blue.
tried to teach him some years ago, just saying.
No, because we were
game
playing
wasn't helping
that
that.
360.
Oh yeah, that one wasn't
one.
that good.
What
Yeah.
what was that one called? Not Legends.
Yeah, I forget the name too.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think me and Margot were playing on the Xbox One. I think it was like a reboot of it or something like that.
Try Blue. What you been gaming on?
Bro, what have I been gaming at? Game of Life, obviously. Been doing a lot of work on set, but in between that, I'm jumping, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks now, but now I'm more consistent with my Final Fantasy 14 play. I linked up with another gaming group. They're called Talia's Gaming Sanatorium, and
Okay.
yeah, I met them through some other Black Final Fantasy players. Final Fantasy 14 players, and they're super cool. I did some runs with them. I actually attended one of their weddings yesterday in game.
I'm like, y'all got that
in-game.
close?
Yeah, that's why I said in-game.
I went to the wedding. I mean, I met him this week, but I got the invitation, so
Yeah, it was
It
really
was
cute. It was a lot of fun.
chicken and steak. So I chose the steak.
You're not wrong. I would have chosen the steak. Yeah, no, but Final Fantasy 14. Now, the biggest thing that I've been doing recently, besides that, I made another character. I'm focusing on crafting. I think I mentioned it last week. I'm focusing on crafting. Yeah, and I'm starting up this new system. I'm learning it. Shout out to Chibs. She's teaching me. She maxed out all her crafting stuff, so she's teaching me how to do it now. And it's a journey. It's kind of like a very long puzzle game, but I'm not mad at it. I'm starting to get the groove of it. I'm starting to put on some lo-fi music.
That's
what I'm saying?
what's up.
Just relax and just start my crafting stuff. And I don't have to do a lot of combat. I only have to do combat if I have to get specific materials. But my free company has a whole bunch of stuff that I'm kind of pulling from.
What you should do is kind of a way to draw people in is to make them armor when they play the game or weapons.
Yeah. That's what we've been doing.
You've been doing it?
You have to log on for that, Jeff.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's where we get you.
You have to, exist.
You have to be there. My bad. I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
On top of that, I've been doing some, Overwatch. Of course, I'm working on Genji. Y'all look out for some Genji plays.
Look out for my Genji plays too.
You got, again, same kind of problem. You gotta be online to make that happen. But
man, it's been a week. I haven't played much. It's been a crazy time.
I hear you, brother. I understand.
Something I read that Casey posted from his boss. That's your boss with the article, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
have that same issue where I'll start a game, be excited about it, and then drop it maybe like 2 days later.
Wow. Why is that?
So it's been, I got tons of games, and I'll start it up, and I'm like, I don't want to play this.
Because honestly,
is there any like specific reason behind that, or is it just like you hyped yourself up too much? Like, what do you think it is?
No, because games that I'm looking for, like Fantasy Star Online 2 came out for the beta. I played that like nonstop. I was good with that.
100%.
But like I bought Darksiders Genesis.
Yeah, I saw you on there for a couple days.
I played 20 minutes.
I think that's
like now
not an interesting game.
It's not a bad. Oh, I can't really say either or. It's not great, but I don't think it's horrible. Yeah. But I think it doesn't know what it wants to be, and the camera angles are very wonky. But
that's what I heard about that game too.
Even Fallen Order, I really want to finish that, but I'll start playing and I'm just like,
I don't understand that part. No, Star Wars.
Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. I have that. I got to a certain point. I love the game, but I'll pop it in and start playing.
I gave up even thinking about Sekiro after seeing that ape fight that Sigma was going through for like 7 years.
Apparently, that's an optional boss.
It's an optional boss?
Yeah.
But see, I love Souls games. I love Souls games.
No,
the only Souls game I did not enjoy, which it was also going from Souls where I could use a shield and stuff like that, and then going to Bloodborne, the combat was very different. So I didn't immediately take to it. I did like Nioh, which I haven't actually finished yet either, but I enjoy Souls games. I enjoy that that level of difficulty and finding a way around it and stuff like that.
Timing based
combat. Yeah, I love that type of game. Like Souls games I love. Like Dark Souls 3 is probably my favorite game of this generation, and I have the DLC and I'll put it on. I just can't go back. I can't make myself play it. So he had some very good points in it, like setting goals for yourself, stuff like that. Going in with no expectations.
Turning down the difficulty in some instances, like just to get the experience. Yeah, like don't like he was basically saying, and the article is on the Escapist website. My boss Nick Calandra, who wrote it, but he's basically saying like because of his job and having to jump between all these different games, like he'll feel pressure to play something that he's not actually enjoying, and to basically just cut all that out. Like, if you want to play something, play it. Like, don't feel bad about dropping something. Don't feel bad about dropping the difficulty to get through something. Like, if maybe you like the story more or whatever. Like you bought the thing, play it the way you want to play it.
That's exactly how I feel. That's why, like, when folks want me to play Resident Evil 7, I was like, no. I don't want to play
I'm not a fan of Resident Evil at all. Like, and I tried the fourth one and got maybe through that first village and was like, I don't like this, and then just never went back. Like, even though people love it, they say it's a genre defining game. Like, it just never clicked for me.
And don't get me wrong, it's not saying that I can't appreciate it. Like when it first came out, we were watching streams of that quite a bit, and I think it was an amazing game. But I'm not gonna play it. I'll tell you that much. I like my sleep. But finishing up my games of this week, the last one I wanted to mention, I'm a little surprised y'all didn't mention it, but Free for All Fridays, we did GTA 5 this week, and it was a lot of fun.
I forgot about that entirely.
Ouch, that hurt. I thought we had a good time.
No, it was fun. It was fun. We really didn't do anything, but we were in there just messing around.
And I think that was fun within itself.
It was fun.
Like, we all ran to the beach. There's about 6 of us, I want to say.
I think so. Yeah.
Just about 6 of us, and we said, okay, guys, no OP weapons. Just bring out your guns. Boom. Guns, we just killing each other off the beach. Of course the cops gonna show up, right? Cops came in. They were the ones who were killing us. Like, it was cool to get killed by a cop, just not by somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like you're out. And then we went to like just melee weapons. So we're running around machetes and bats and knives. Casey with the
has some games in New York combat going on.
Yo, how do the brass knuckles in that game function? Because he
put it
hit
on
me,
and you hit somebody with it, just
but
like real life.
My body flew like he was All Might.
Oh, dang!
What you mean?
Because
maybe he put all his points in strength.
Well, no, I got a lot of. It's funny now when we were doing all that, right? My shooting abilities went up and my strength abilities went up. While we were doing all the fighting, so possibly you hit me after that ability went, or possibly I hit you after that ability went up, but. The fact is, you probably didn't have full health, and I was running when I said,
"Oh, he got a running start. He did a Superman punch."
Yeah, there is.
The amount of force that I got sent back with just didn't make any sense, and like, I could not understand why I got thrown that far. Like maybe it was a glitch or something.
Yo, it was a lot of fun though. Like everyone, I felt like they kind of got whatever stress they had for the week. They were just shooting it at each other, and I think we had a good time. We eventually we started getting into cars. We're still by the beach, but we try to stay local, and we started going into the city a little bit, and we're stealing NPCs' cars. Then NPCs started putting bounties on us. So everyone's like, "Oh, I get money for killing you?" Yeah, we all chased this one person, and it was great, bro. It was a lot of fun, and it's something that we're definitely gonna do again.
We should think about doing like a private lobby, like those death matches.
So
the one we used to play was fun too. It was like 3v3. You had to have a group that had to get into the house, and the other 3 had to stop them.
What is that called?
So all of those are very difficult to link up on, and we even mentioned it on the stream. Like GTA is such a good game that it has probably the worst loading time of any of the games that we play.
Yes. Oh my god.
I mean, it's a last gen game technically. Like they built it for the previous generation of consoles and then moved it over. Like the loading,
it does take forever.
It never changed.
And if you don't load into the world, you get an error and you got to load again.
Bruh,
oh my god,
it's ridiculous. So that being said, we could do what you're talking about, Jeff, but I know that would take like 30 minutes to put together. And that's a good time. That's like no traffic.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
I mean, or we could just play Rainbow Six Siege. I mean,
well, I have it downloading right now.
You can do private lobbies for that, right?
Oh, you did it.
Yeah, yeah. I downloaded Rainbow Six Siege. Y'all
can we do private lobbies for that? Because you can have 5 people on one squad, but can you do like 5-on-5?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'll let you know right after the stream.
All right.
If we can do 2v2s, I'd love to stream that.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that either. But I'm sure you can do a private lobby.
Yeah, if you do a private lobby, then probably.
Yeah.
We'll look into it. What else?
All right, guys. But yeah, no, that's basically it for my games of the week. Comrades, of course. We tried the rematch. Wow. No. Did you see the last fight that we was doing?
No, I didn't.
Rematch of the Blade Master.
Who is
this
Blade
fight?
Master?
The Blade Master is Bahamut, right? Which is the god Bahamut.
He's just old. He's like the standard Final Fantasy boss, right? Like he's just.
I mean, everything is pretty much standard Final Fantasy, but yeah.
He's like the most popular boss from there, right?
Probably Ifrit would be, but
who was the one that?
Yeah, Ifrit's probably the most well known.
You're talking about in Monster Hunter? That's the Behemoth.
Behemoth, okay, not
Bahamut and Behemoth are 2 different entities.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but we were fighting Bahamut, the god, the Blade Master, and we had Night Shadow, we had Uncool Fall, 2 of my boys, and I think we had a AI for the last member. But man, that guy's difficult. God bless you. He's got no weaknesses and no improved resistances and no weaknesses. So it's just straight damage and mechanics with this guy. And we realized we just got to level up because we got the mechanics down, but we cannot withstand so many of his hits. And when you withstand hits in that game, it drops your health, and then you're vulnerable to get your permanent health dropped, right? Yes. Like your max HP dropped. Mm-hmm. So like people have to heal you before you get hit a second time. Once you play it a little bit more, you understand what I'm talking about. But it's this guy tears up our defenses. The more toughness you have, the harder it is for him to drop down your max HP. Mm-hmm. But man, it is rough. So right now the squad's working on getting our weight up, getting our better weapons. We're getting better levels just to have better base stats. And then we were really going to go in on this guy. Like we got the mechanics down. We almost killed him twice. One time more than the other, but man, yeah.
I did make a character. Can't promise I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I made a character too
this morning.
I was in that city, like I lit up something in terms of power, and then took a break. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I made a character. I think I did the starting part where you start fighting the little creatures, and
yeah,
that's.
Well, hey, if you ever decide to actually play the game, let me know.
Nah, they're gonna uninstall it.
Okay, no problem, bro.
So that's what we've been playing for the week. We're gonna move on into our Super Smash Sunday recap. Blues news.
Yo,
brought to you by
Blues news.
What you got for us, Blue?
Slickest did some work with Inkling. He was really killing it. But then, for the most part, it was Sigma with Breath of the Wild Link, right? And we had a guy named T-Man come in with Luigi.
Yeah, his
T-Man
Luigi
was killing it.
His Luigi was so fierce.
Scary good. So, yeah, shout out to T-Man. But the majority of the matches went to Sigma with Breath of the Wild Link. And then people asked for his young Link. And he gave it to them. Or Toon Link, excuse me. And he gave it to them.
Those are 2 different links.
Yeah.
I feel like he could have a little bit better with him.
Don't disrespect my Link like that.
I feel like that's how I'd react if you said some messed up stuff on Star Wars. So I'll give you that. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, his Toon Link really took it home. By the end of the stream, people got what they asked for, pretty much. So
once again, sorry, DJ.
Yeah, that was
coming back week after week.
Some fierce.
But yeah, that's the recap of the week. We're looking forward to more explosive games every Sunday. So come through 2:30 Eastern. You already know what time it is.
That's right. So we're gonna move on
Yeah.
into our topics for the week. First up, Bluey brought this story to our attention. Very interesting.
Did I? Oh yes, I did. The Scoob final trailer sets up the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe, bro. This is interesting. Like I see a lot of folks doing universes now, you know. And I watched the Scoob trailer. Like Miss Merrick and I watched My Hero Academia movie Heroes Rising yesterday, and we saw the trailer in there. And
was it this one? The one?
What's that?
Was it the same one that hit the internet?
Yeah, it's the same one that hit the internet. And it was interesting, man. Like I told her, like, what we do this game. I don't know if y'all do this, but we do this game whenever we're watching a movie. We look at the trailers, obviously, and then we give a thumbs up or a thumbs down whether we're going to watch it or not. Recently, we've added a third option, which is the side thumb, and that's like maybe if you want to watch it or if we have certain circumstances. So with the Scoob movie, we said if we're going to be babysitting or something like that, we definitely going to watch that. 100%.
That's kind of the vibe I get from it too.
100%.
Like that's going to be my first
choice, even though it's such an old property that a lot of, because honestly, Scooby-Doo is before our time. I feel like
100%. Yeah,
Scooby-Doo came out in the 80s along with like Space Ghost and whatnot.
Yeah,
and that's what they're expanding on, which is pretty interesting, giving it an update, modern look. They have a really good cast on this too. You got Mark Wahlberg playing Blue Falcon, first of all, with this little cameo, but you got Tracy Morgan on this, Zac Efron, Amanda Seyfried. Amanda Seyfried's that girl with the big old eyes. You know who I'm talking about? That blonde girl.
The blonde one, right? She's always in like
that's your way of describing her.
She's got huge eyes.
She does. Like that is a good way to describe her.
She's got like Powerpuff Girl proportion eyes. Gina Rodriguez and Will Forte are also on this, playing like the main cast. So and the most important person on this cast is Frank Welker, which is the original voice of Scooby-Doo. So he's coming back to do his classic role. He's like, look, no one can do it better than me. I'm gonna just do it. I don't care how old I
saw a bunch of comments about because apparently they're making Scooby speak clearer.
Yes,
and a lot of people were like angry about that.
But you know what? This movie's not for us.
I mean, it was never gonna be for me.
It's appealing to us, in general, but it's for the kids.
Yeah.
It's appealing to us, but it's for the kids. And the kids are the ones that are going to be asking for a talking Scooby doll, and we're going to be the ones saying, fine. You know what I mean? Like, the way I look at it, it's for us to remember, but for the kids to enjoy.
Yeah, they're trying to reinvigorate a lot of old properties to kind of get them ready for the new age. I think that's what the Sonic movie is as well, something to get the kids, and hopefully that'll kind of translate to the video games, because now it kind of piqued their entrance. I think that's a good thing for the industry, where movies and video games kind of work hand in hand, or even TV shows in general just kind of help push the other.
You feel like there's been like a decline in the popularity of Sonic with kids?
Man, not a lot of kids know about Sonic.
I don't know. I would say that now it's which Sonic they know about, because a lot of the Sonic, a lot of the Sonic news has been like, oh, Sonic is so terrible and the fandom is like ridiculously cringy. That I would agree with. What I believe that kids don't know about is like Sonic when it was Princess Sally and not really Amy Rose, Sonic and the Freedom Fighters, Sonic Underground, Dr. Robotnik, not Eggman, Dr. Robotnik. Like that's what kids don't know about. But if you look up, like if you to just Google Sonic, they would talk about Shadow, how much that game was terrible.
Sonic, you gotta think about that was like
Sonic 06
years ago,
which was really bad. Like, but they don't know the good Sonic. They know what the internet has just been, slandering across their screen like it's fake news or something like that. They don't know the good, the true, the complete Sonic the Hedgehog.
Some would argue that that's not a thing. That good Sonic is kind of an oxymoron.
there
Wow.
are good Sonic games.
There's
It
like
depends
one
on what you're looking
good
for.
Sonic game.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's
I
been
don't-
a while.
I think
whole thing is, I think kids do know
the adventure games were great.
there were adventure games. Oh, Sonic Adventure, right?
Sonic Adventure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sonic Adventure 2, at least, I actually really liked.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure, like the proper one, was probably all right as well. Heroes and Forces and all that stuff. The side-scrolling ones are all bad.
Well, for me, like I said, I believe kids now, which I mean, we can kind of justify that as the Fortnite generation. They don't really know much about Sonic.
That's a
They're not-
terrible
I think
label.
Besides some of the current stuff, like the movie coming out, stuff like that. But
a
like
show.
as far as like caring
I
about Sonic,
don't think they've really played those games, but I do think they know the character. Like, they're aware of what
I
Sonic
think they
is,
do. But
you
what
know?
I mean is, I don't think it's something that's popular to them. You know what I mean?
It was more inherited than it was.
Yeah, it's more like, oh, that's Sonic. They might know Sonic, but they're not
Well,
like, oh, Sonic
Like,
movies
from
coming out.
personal experience, I can only judge off of my own kid.
Mhm.
He's never played a proper Sonic game, like none of the adventure games, none of the 2D side-scrolling
So
ones.
let's do this.
He's played the
just-
racing ones, but he knows the character. Like, he likes the character by just looking at him and knowing that he's a video game character who has some interaction with Mario because he's watched Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. He's watched random YouTube videos where Mario and Sonic fight each other. So he knows that, and he likes Sonic based off that.
But you're saying he likes it. I would like to hear from him. Like me, so like you want to just bring him on in, and we can ask him because I don't. You know what I mean? Because you might be giving off your own opinion, not really his. You know what
I
I mean?
don't care about Sonic. Why would?
We need to interview Starboy on one of
Yes.
our podcasts.
Without Casey being around. It's a second.
Without Sigma around.
Now remember, when they ask you this question, tell me what you're going to say.
Either way,
But yeah,
in terms
Yeah,
of
I'm just
Scooby,
joking,
I'm kind of the same way with the Scooby Doo franchise. I've never liked the show except for very specific iterations. Like, I like a pup named Scooby Doo.
Yep.
I like
exactly.
parts of that new Cartoon Network show that everybody hated because they changed the art style and it was actually funny. And for some reason, they hate it when Scooby Doo's actually funny. But this new version, I like the way it looks because, again, it's like top quality animation. Like, I like this new style. Velma is like Spanish, I think. Like, she's dark. I don't know what she is.
Yeah.
She's
Maybe
something.
a tan.
I don't know. She's something.
but she's being played by she seems like she's having a Latina influence because she's played by Gina Rodriguez.
Yeah, so she's
And
probably...
it's good because it's starting to become. If they're gonna bring it back, it needs to be more new age.
It does.
Where you just
Yeah,
don't
I
have-
agree. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with the concept of Scooby Doo. I just think most of the shows have just been bad. Like,
Yeah,
they're
that's
being
true.
unfunny, uninteresting, whatever. Make a good version of that, I'm in. The
Well,
trailer
like
doesn't
Blue
seem
said.
funny though.
The trailer was funny. I agree. The trailer was very funny.
I thought it wasn't funny, is what I said.
Oh, you didn't think?
Yeah,
You didn't like the trailer?
like none of the jokes kind of landed for me. But
There
I think
was
they
like
could be trying to
3
save stuff for
jokes
the
that were
movie.
funny, and then I could feel they were trying really hard, like especially with the IKEA joke. Like,
Right, yeah, it was like out of nowhere. Like, it was really clear. Oh,
I feel like that's
IKEA.
gonna be the funniest joke in the movie.
I thought that was whack. Honestly,
Well, a lot of stuff that kind of tries to translate over to kind of like new
Trying to
age comedy,
Bridge the gap.
like you using up to date stuff into the comedy.
Mhm.
I think they need to kind of take a lesson from Harley Quinn. I think Harley Quinn does a great job at that, with
Standard, though.
incorporating new and up to date stuff as far as what's going on in the world into that, without trying too hard. You know what I mean? Without forcing jokes. I think they do a great job at the flow.
yeah,
but,
forced is a
also-
great word for that.
Yeah, it's like some of the stuff is they're pushing it, or they'll hit a note on a joke and they'll keep trying to hit that note.
Like, if
Yeah.
they're like they really missed the laugh track that the TV show used to have.
Yeah.
That live
And
studio
something
audience.
tells me I like what I liked about Scooby Doo is that none of the villains, the original thing, none of the villains were actually real. You know what I mean? There's
Was it
always
too much for you
somebody
otherwise?
dressed up. What's that?
Did that help you sleep at night?
You'd have noped out of it, is what you're saying?
I mean, like the movie, I enjoyed the movie, but like the very first one with oh man, the live action
Freddie
one.
Prinze Jr.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
wasn't. That first one was not bad, and it was because they
It
were
wasn't.
kind of poking fun at what Scooby Doo was.
Yeah.
Like if you saw if you guys have watched the Supernatural episode where they go into
they had a
Scooby-Doo
crossover,
cartoon,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They poke fun at what Scooby-Doo is because someone actually dies and they all freak out. Like that's funny to me. Like that's what I want to see Scooby-Doo kind of turn into. Like be self-aware.
Yeah. But when the villains in this one look real and there's like all these robots around and I feel like they're going really wacky now. I'm not saying it can't work, but that's not the Scooby-Doo I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited.
Like you said, it's not for you.
Exactly. So I want to see where they go with it, but you're not gonna see me there opening night.
Yeah, no. To kind of go back to what you said about maybe a Hanna-Barbera shared universe, I wouldn't mind seeing some Johnny Quest. I didn't care for the younger version of Johnny Quest, but I did like the new adventures of Johnny Quest.
Yeah, that show was actually really good.
Let me tell you something. After watching Venture Brothers, I'm fulfilled on Johnny Quest growing up. 100%. Like, I don't need anything else. Anything else is going to be too tame for me. Venture Brothers did a really good version of the Johnny Quest cast growing up and just being real and adults. Like it was that was entertaining to watch. I don't know if I can find another more
like a straight-laced version of that. Like you might seem I get what you mean. I still want to see them try, especially if they're gonna have a shared universe. Like most of the Hanna-Barbera characters are not good.
No.
So like you're gonna have to go with like the ones that are actually good, and Johnny Quest would be one of the good ones.
And please don't bring back the was it Wacky Racers?
Bro, didn't they try to do that?
No.
Haven't they been trying to do that recently?
They did try to.
Okay. I thought I remember something about Wacky
Racers. With Dick Dastardly and Penelope Pitstop? Yes, bring that back.
And
Dick Dastardly was
right?
Yeah, Muttley.
Dick Dastardly was shown in the trailer though, so he's around.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Yeah, bring that back.
I remember Buttley's fraggle. Yo, man was cussing the whole time. I was like,
nobody knew.
But yeah, there's some interesting stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they do with their childhood.
With somebody else's childhood, because I wasn't a child when that stuff was out.
Excusez-moi. Yeah, it was definitely on Boomerang most of the time for me.
Right. But we're gonna move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you guys don't know, something called the Nintendo PlayStation existed and went on auction recently and sold for $360,000 in an auction, making it the highest gaming device, the highest price paid for a gaming device in an auction recently. So the Nintendo PlayStation is a prototype device from the beginnings of a deal between Nintendo and Sony to add some kind of disc functionality to the Super Nintendo. Like if you look at it,
crazy,
bro. If you look at it, it looks like a Super Nintendo with a disc drive.
Yeah,
and like the Nintendo logo and like the Sony logo and stuff, all mixed into one because they had a partnership until Nintendo reneged on the deal.
Changed their mind, yeah. And the thing was that it allowed them, also gave them use of Link, and they were able to make a Mario game.
Wait, what?
Well, no. That happened after.
That was for their other system.
That happened after because
the deal allowed them to make, even though Nintendo reneged, they still were allowed to make. That's what that horrible.
But no, but that's not Sony though. That was Philips.
Oh, that was Philips.
Yeah, because the thing is, Sony basically kind of wanted to partner.
No,
with them.
That's how the PlayStation came to be.
Right, and Nintendo said we don't want PlayStation to have that much control over this new thing, which was half. Even though they built it, they were like, we don't like that. Forget this deal. We're gonna partner with Philips and let them make a thing, and that was the Philips CDI, and then that's where those Zelda games and that Mario game came
Mario game came from.
People never talk about those. The Wand of Gamelon,
never,
all that jazz. But this thing basically just never saw the light of day. But this prototype existed for all this time, and it's been kind of bouncing around via collectors and such, and it basically reared its head again. All the buyers were like anonymous though, so like they don't want to be identified, but. $360,000 for a prototype Nintendo PlayStation. Like,
the question is, did they ever create any games?
The thing is, I think it plays SNES games because this was supposed to be like a disc add-on. So, like, do you remember the N64 disc drive?
Yes.
It only ever came out in Japan.
What?
I think, but it
was
the
a
same
thing.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It basically added disc support to the N64, and like they only ever made I think 2 or 3 games that supported it, and F-Zero X was one of them. So I was really mad because I loved that game, and it let you like it added like a track builder and like some new areas and stuff, but it never came to the US. So this was supposed to be that for the SNES. How much would you guys pay if you had the money for a Nintendo PlayStation?
Unless I was like an avid collector,
yeah,
I wouldn't. Even if I had millions of dollars, like
if you had millions, you wouldn't even drop the.
Unless I was an avid collector on trying to collect and store every system, then other than that, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I can't see myself dropping that.
I just don't know what I would do with it. I feel like it'd be wasting away in my house. Like I appreciate it for what it is, and that's why I can't hold on to it.
Yeah, like
I would, if I had the money in the bank, I'd probably grab this thing for the purposes of it accumulating value over time.
Oh, okay, kind of like an investment. I get you.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah, in that case.
Because the fact that this just sold for the highest that anything's ever sold means that it's valuable. Like to other collectors, like that. They're telling you like this is valuable. So if you could have grabbed that now, with the way inflation's going and the economy, blah blah blah, it's just gonna get more expensive to buy off you eventually.
So this is the way I look at it. Well, this is the question: who's gonna buy it later? Now, this thing.
Yeah,
somebody.
You could have been the sucker that got it for $360K, right? Mm-hmm. Like someone else already did this whole thing and made a crap ton of profit. If people in the future don't see it valuable, you lost.
I mean, you're right.
And also, if I have that much money to spend, like if I'm spending $360 on a video game, that means I got millions of dollars. So that game,
you're not worried about that.
Yeah, that game couldn't go to the point where it's going to actually make me enough money to the point where it would make a big difference. You know what I mean? Like if I have millions of dollars, even if that game went to $500,000, you know, I don't see
it's profit, but
yeah. I mean, but it's not
as
big of a profit as doing something else.
But
you know what I mean?
Look at it as diversifying. Like this wouldn't be the only thing.
Oh, you're trying to diversify your portfolio. That's what you're
like
trying to do.
if I'm a collector, if I'm a collector, I got money going in for these things, money going out for those things. So like by the time I spent money for this is gonna sit for a while. There's probably other things I can trade out in other auctions that would compensate maybe perhaps.
I get that.
Like I'm looking at it from like collector's perspective.
I can't, because the point that Jeff made about the value, I don't see the value later down the years. Like someone would have to have a more perceived value than I would when I purchased that. And and if I just got that, if I just have a little under, $500,000 just burning a hole in my pocket, like, man, I really need to spend this, I can just think of significantly better things. Like when you sent me that story, there was another one way like years ago where people were like trying to combine, like someone took a suitcase and combined the PS3, the Xbox.
I've seen that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a modded system,
and I was just like, okay, I would invest in that. I would buy that before I would buy the Nintendo PlayStation.
But you do realize the difference in those things, right? Like this is a part of video
part game of history.
Well, yes.
Like it's a relic of the nature of gaming today. Like the thing you're describing, which is like that 3-in-1 console thing, is kind of like a mod kit. It's like a
but I will also like to add this. In school, I was terrible at history, so I'm looking at that and I'm just like, someone else will have that in a glass case that I would probably pay $50
to go
look
see.
At.
Yeah,
well, like you would
a museum.
Exactly. Start a museum. You got stuff like that in there. You were paying $50. I'm paying $50. You made your money back in like a year.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see a video game museum.
Yeah, that's what I would buy it for, to put it into a museum and get some money off of there. Boom.
Yeah.
Match.
And a museum would pay money like that to have it in their museum. So like it's a relic of video game history. As long as video games is a thing that's popular in this country, which I feel like has no signs of slowing down, that's gonna be relevant to its history.
And nostalgia is very big, especially at this point in time.
Yeah.
Like speaks to you. Speak to you like Hanna-Barbera coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's gonna place a nostalgia while they're also trying to reach out to a new audience. So. I think nostalgia is a very, very big motivator as far as money goes, and especially our age, you know what I mean? Because we want to pass it on to our kids and stuff like that. And also we want to enjoy and see what it is now compared to what it was when we were younger. So I could see that aspect of it.
I was going to just say my last note on this is initially I was thinking about bringing it home to my apartment. That's nothing I'm gonna do. That's nothing I'm gonna do. A museum investment, I'm about that. Yeah, that's cool. That works for me.
Okay. So
next,
Jeff's ready.
Next, we got the Last of Us series coming to HBO.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I think. My only concern with that is what story are they going to tell?
Okay.
Is this going to be after the first game? I mean, because now we got a second game coming out.
Yeah, part 2.
Or is this going to be... It can't be a prequel to the first game because it can't have Ellie and Joel in it because they didn't meet until the first game. So, or is it going to be a retelling of events that happened a different way? What are your thoughts on this?
I honestly feel like their best bet for this is to do a retelling of the first game, at least to start. Like if they're gonna have this keep going, because unlike a lot of games, The Last of Us was like a really, really strong story.
Yeah,
like
100%.
More so than it was a great video game. And like there are some people who will debate me on that because they really like the gameplay. I thought the gameplay was middling at best. But the story is kind of what made that stand out. Like, it was an amazing story. And honestly, I could have seen this as a movie like a long time ago. The fact that they're making an HBO series is a better option because they get more time to tell it.
Exactly.
And it's HBO, so they take their stuff seriously. But the other thing I think is cool about this is you saw how Netflix was losing all these movie deals, like with Disney, for example, or Stars back in the day. And then they always adapt. And we kind of pointed out back in the day on this podcast that they were turning their attention towards video games to kind of fill that void of like the superhero content. Look at HBO reading and writing on the wall and doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fact that they beat them to the punch, I mean, I would think this would have been something that Netflix would have picked up. And no offense to HBO, no offense at all, I would have been more excited to see Netflix get it.
What?
Don't judge me. But I feel like they do more service to the things they put out without sacrificing the integrity of what the property actually is.
Did you watch Watchmen on HBO?
I did watch Watchmen. But I also seen just Watchmen. I mean, what else did they pick up that's original? And then now we don't even know if we're getting any more seasons of that. You know what I mean? So like they picked it up. Game of Thrones
it was done well.
It was done well.
A lot of people don't like the ending. It was done well.
Season
it was done well. I get that, but you also got to think about. Okay, for example, the biggest example to me is The Witcher.
Mm-hmm. Okay, The Witcher.
They did The Witcher without changing too much, but while still doing their own thing. Even their shared universe of Marvel shows, while some were questionable, they still proved true to what the character was, while also changing things to kind of fit that particular director's vision.
Can I talk about The Witcher real quick?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Honestly, I had fun watching it, but I didn't like it overall. I think I think they did too much. I think when it comes to storytelling, you either have to have an unusual setting with a normal story or an unusual story in a normal setting. right? One of the two. I
get
think
what
this
you're
had an unusual story and an unusual setting, and it was very jarring. Not even like, and that was before you realize that there's 3 different timelines going on in this thing.
I thought
Like, it was very confusing.
I thought it was very well told. I thought that even me, who's played the games and know a little bit about the novels, when I realized it was working at a different timeline, for me, it didn't take away from it. I felt like it added to it, and I thought it was a good spin on it. I thought it was, yeah, they could have just told a straight story of what was going on with both characters at the exact same time, but I think it did a good job at making everybody's stories separate. Often when we have one story, one narrative going, certain characters get lost. I think this did a good job of making each character equally important in their own right.
I think it becomes apparent that there's different timelines at the beginning of like the 3rd episode or something like that. And it makes me feel like I wasted the first 2 episodes because I don't know when those happened. You know what I mean? And I had to go back and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, I was saying all that to say I don't trust Netflix necessarily to do something this serious.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I will say HBO does have a better track record of doing adaptations and original series than Netflix. Netflix
does a lot more.
They have a quantity thing versus an HBO quality thing. So like, if you had to pick someone to do an original series, I feel like you cannot go wrong with HBO. Like, they just don't drop the ball. Like, Entourage was a bad show, in my opinion. Some people liked it. But pretty much everything else they release is good, like point blank.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I didn't hear throughout all of this is how exactly it's going to be as far as casting. And what I am extremely concerned with is that it's going to be more focused on the actors, whether they be famous or not, instead of the story. Because when I played Last of Us, I think, and then when I reviewed Last of Us, I will admit it was a very good game, but it was a very good game because I was participating in it. But I'm not going to be able to do that with this. I'm going 100%. To be watching this, and especially for those who have played it, it's like you kind of already know what's going to happen and how it's all going to end. How are you going to make that interesting when, if I really wanted to, I can just pop it back in the game and then, oh yeah, this is a much better thing. That's what I'm worried about.
That's a good point.
I because I loved the game. I loved it because it was hard, but I was so invested. And if everything is going to be playing out in front of me like that, where's that level of investment going to be there? Because I can tell you right now, it's not going to be anywhere as high as when I got the controller in my hand and I'm controlling everything myself.
I feel like we talked about that a little bit last week. I think it was when we were talking about a couple of more adaptations. We mentioned the Assassin's Creed movie, and how there's a difference between playing the story and watching the story. You know what I'm saying? Your level, just like you said, to your point, Gamer, your level of involvement is instrumental in a lot of these stories and how they're told. And just watching it isn't always as entertaining. Just like we said with Uncharted, you reboot Uncharted, it's Indiana Jones, and we've all seen it.
Pretty much, it's a new age Indiana Jones.
And the only thing that's different is he's gonna have a cell phone. That's gonna be the only difference. He's gonna talk about a tweet that he did.
It's gonna be the in betweens and how the new generation's influence kind of impacts that particular character.
Yeah, I think it might be a story for.
But I mean, similarly to this stuff, by bringing like the Scooby-Doo characters forward and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it could also be an attempt to bring this franchise to non-gamers. Like, yes, gamers are the ones who championed it and made it popular, but by adapting it, they're trying to reach a wider audience. So
I don't know if that.
Say again?
I don't know if that compares to the Scooby-Doo situation, because the original experience of Scooby-Doo is watching it. That's how that's enjoyed.
But they are bringing it forward. They're trying to reach.
They're trying to expand their demographic for sure. Yeah. Like I get that.
Like they want it to be. They want it to be ubiquitous. They want this thing not to fade away and die. Like they want to show it to more people who maybe haven't seen it. You know, like your kids for Scooby-Doo, or like maybe your girlfriend for The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like put it in a way where they don't have to interact with it. They don't have to be because video games are like one of the only mediums that actively stop you from experiencing it. Like the games fight against you, and sometimes you don't actually get to finish it because the game didn't let you. But like a movie is passive, so if it's a good story, like I think The Last of Us is a good story. Like I do think that's worth exploring in this medium, just so that someone who's doesn't want to interact with it can get that out of it, because the story it tells, regardless of the gameplay, is good. Like it's a good and interesting plot.
Okay. Well, so I got some.
What you got?
Ahead. So I got a couple casting wants from fans, and I want to know what you guys kind of think on this. So, Jamie Lannister as Joel.
No.
Okay, real quick. For the people who don't know the story of Last of Us, and myself, just give me a tiny character description.
You want to know who Joel is?
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause I'm like,
so
I know it's
like
a dude,
you
but
go on Tinder for that or something.
I need to go. What? Did you say Tinder?
So
my girl is right here, bro.
Joel. You trying to get to know Joel? I mean, come on now. But no, okay. So Joel. So The Last of Us takes place in a post-apocalyptic setting where Joel is. This is spoilers.
You don't have to spoil.
Don't spoil.
Okay,
just
well,
give me, like,
Joel is a man who
is
living in this world. He meets Ellie, who he is tasked with taking her to an unspecified location for unknown reasons, and it's their interaction through this and how they bond that kind of brings The Last of Us to the forefront.
Okay, so Joel, is he tall, short, black, white,
side note,
skinny?
If you haven't seen The Last of Us, play The Last of Us to know anything about it, get from under that rock.
Here's the best way to describe The Last of Us. It's Logan with no mutants.
Oh, that's okay.
No,
it's Hugh Jackman.
Don't listen to him.
It's Hugh Jackman with a beard, protecting.
So you've never seen
protecting a little girl that he doesn't necessarily want to be protecting. Like that's what The Last of Us is.
I know a lot of. Never mind. Let me
stop. But you'll spoil Logan.
About to get there.
Okay. But so Jamie Lannister is Joel.
I hate that, honestly.
Okay.
We have Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman's too old now. He would have been perfect. Did you guys see that movie Prisoners?
Oh, was that the one with him and Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
And they were on the. Oh, never mind.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh no! I was thinking about who's that other old action star? Rambo.
Dolph Lundgren?
No. Rambo.
Sylvester Stallone
and Arnold Schwarzenegger were stuck in a prison. Y'all know what movie I'm talking about?
That sounds familiar.
You mistake Hugh Jackman for Sylvester
Stallone? I don't know how he got.
Yeah, they both like old action.
Hugh Jackman is not that old. What are you talking about? Like, what is happening here?
I don't know.
Let's go back. Hugh Jackman as Joel. That sounds bad.
Okay.
No, son. Look at Hugh Jackman in Prisoners.
Okay.
That is Joel. He played Joel in that movie, Prisoners.
Casey will put up a picture of this floating around.
Yeah, I'll
as we're going
on
on.
Screen cap somewhere.
We have Sophie Listless as Ellie, the girl from that new Netflix show called I Am Not Okay with This.
Okay.
That could work.
I could see her. She almost looks
She's
like.
A good actress.
What's that?
I just finished that show, by the way. I'm not okay with this. I have some.
Are you okay with it?
I'm not okay with it.
I'm not okay.
Is that good?
No. Basically, all I'm saying is, I Am Not Okay is not a good show. Like, it tries some things. It had potential. I'm still interested in seeing what they do in the season 2. Mm-hmm. But I'm thoroughly annoyed by how they went about trying to tell their story.
All right.
So our next choice is Sadie Sink, the girl from Stranger Things who played
11.
No, who played what's the name's? That's Bobby Brown.
Bobby Miller.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't want Bobby Brown. Y'all don't.
But the girl who played the guy from California played his sister. The new girl to the group.
I just looked her up. This redhead girl, right?
No, the Max is her name.
Yes.
Okay.
And then for
Ellie?
another one for Joel is Gerard Butler.
No. Gerard Butler.
Why not Gerard Butler?
Gerard Butler has a heavy accent.
He can change it.
No,
he's definitely changed it
no, he
before.
hasn't. Gerard
Why
Butler
can't Joel have an
always does
accent?
an
Whoa, 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 whoa,
What?
whoa.
What name a movie
So-
where Gerard Butler does an American accent, please?
Let me talk to Google while y'all do that.
I don't
Because,
see a
wait a
problem.
minute.
I don't feel like Joel has to be American.
I mean, you're
I
right.
feel
He
like-
doesn't have to be American.
Oh,
But I will say that Gerard Butler does not have a good American accent. If he's
Let me
tried
guess.
it,
No.
it's been bad.
You want The Rock as Joel? Is that what you want?
No, I don't. I really don't want that at all.
it's funny. I looked up Gerard Butler, American accent, and the first thing that pops up on Google is 11 British actors. 11 British actors who tried American accents and failed dismally.
So there you go.
Sigma wins that one. I'll give
Okay.
that.
Wait for Sigma.
But yeah,
And
I'm really trying to think. What about this might be a stretch.
Okay.
What about John Krasinski
Oh. You mean what, bro? He pretty much
from The
did.
Office?
What? Yeah, he did. A Quiet Place.
Yeah, in A
Right.
Quiet Place, he's kind of in that role,
Yeah. Well,
and he's
I mean,
Jack
married
Ryan,
to his people.
so he can do action, he can do serious stuff.
I could see that. I could see that
It's
because
not
he
bad.
did an amazing job as Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I like Jack Ryan a lot, actually.
I
feel
still
like
like
he can do it.
that.
I feel I'm on board with that one.
All right.
I think
call
people
up
were posting more for the look.
Call him up, let him know.
Call him up. Let's get him.
John Krasinski got the part.
And I think that's all we got for The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any suggestions for cast?
What was wrong with Gerard Butler and Law Abiding Citizen?
Nothing. I love that movie.
Ooh, that movie's really good. You know what?
Right? Like, hold on.
Hold on now. That one is actually good. Yeah. No,
Like,
you absolutely right.
I don't remember how he sounded in that.
He
He
did not
sounded
sound like
he
a
did not
Scotsman.
he did not sound British or anything like that.
Nah.
He like, you could tell the distinction between Law Abiding Citizen, Mad Max,
300.
300. Like, yes, like
Ooh.
that would be the best.
Tom Hardy.
That would be the best
Tom
time.
Hardy. You
Yeah,
knew.
you
got
just
it
said,
in my
you just
mind.
said Mad Max. I'm like, you know what? That he would actually be really good as Joel.
Isn't
Yep.
it too short?
Why you got to be tall?
I mean, it wouldn't matter because his co-star is a little girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang. I was just asking. Because, I mean, like, all the pictures that I looked for Joel, he kind of looked like
Yeah, he's
Taller
probably
than
like 6'8" in the game.
he's 6 something. He's 6 something. You know what I mean?
He's part giant in the game.
But I don't think
Okay.
that's like paramount, him having to be that tall. But yeah, that's not bad. I still don't feel like we have a good idea for an Ellie.
I can
But,
just imagine the
What's
memes.
her name
if
from I'm
he's
Not Okay
just
is
as
probably
tall
the
as her.
best option, maybe. What's her face? Whatever her name is. She was also in
There
It.
was one.
She was like
There was one more. I'll
Okay.
throw out there that was in
What's the
there. Her
last
name is
That's a terrible name.
for the most popular choice of Ellie and Joel, Jamie Lannister, and Caitlin Dever starred in Olivia Wilde's brilliant editorial debut, Booksmart.
Oh,
Oh,
I know exactly who you're talking about. First of all, that movie is hilarious, y'all. You gotta watch
that girl is that girl Asian or something?
No.
No?
What?
No, she doesn't look
No.
like it.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Cause that Booksmart movie is like the bigger heavyset girl and then like the smaller skinnier girl.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They're both white girls.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought
100%.
one of them
One
was
of- the heavier girl is Jonah Hill's sister, I think.
really.
She looks exactly like him.
I didn't notice that. Interesting.
Pull that up. Yeah, no, that movie is hilarious. It was. I heard about it from a film exec that came to our school, and they were talking about story structure, and that was a pretty good one. I think they worked on it too. That's why they put it
That's why
on.
they
But
gave it a devil.
yeah. But it was on Hulu, and I watched the whole thing. It was actually super funny.
Nice. All right, I'll probably check that
Yeah,
out.
definitely check it out. It's adult humor. Heads up. Don't watch with your kids. You have a lot of explaining to do.
All right, so that's gonna be the last of our fan casting for The Last of Us.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, see, I'm on it.
Yeah, that's the last
Gamer
of
brought
that.
this next topic up to our attention. Do you want to take it away?
Yes. All right. So what we have here is when I first looked at the trailer for Ghost of a word I'm probably going to butcher.
Let's hear it.
You got this. Come on now.
The Ghost of Tsushima.
There you go. It's not that
That's not
hard.
bad.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it.
Cool. All right. So Ghost of Tsushima. So I looked at the trailer for it on PlayStation.com, and I have to say, I get, first of all, Onimusha Warlords. Definitely get that vibe from it. Tenchu. Has anyone played Tenchu?
I have.
In a long, long time. Like,
okay. So those were that and Sekiro.
That I can definitely see the comparisons to that for sure.
So I'm definitely looking at this, and what we have is the story of samurai who lived by honor, and then because that the samurai lives by honor, you just have to be unhonorable and you'll win, right? So he decides to do the exact same thing, and he's gonna go on a rampage as what seems to be an honorless samurai. The trailer ends with, I will, he will of course be a samurai, but he will do whatever it takes to win back his land. Not really sure if it's going to be more stealth based or if it's going to be like Onimusha, where you you go into an area and then you have some enemies to defeat and there's like parrying, things like that. We did see some stealth kills, which reminded me of Tenchu. But this is definitely something that I am looking forward to. It looks very nice. Obviously, little disclaimer, capture from, PlayStation 4 Pro, 4K images and all that jazz.
Yeah,
you gotta put that disclaimer on there now. 100%. But game, yes. All the other little trinkets and the art book and everything, I don't even know enough about that to give that any sort of thought. Unless it was like from the creators of Onimusha and like something else like that. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Then I'll invest some money in this. But it looks interesting. It's interesting enough for me to just get the base game. I wanted from more of the trailer to see if it truly was going to be as Dark Souls hard as Sekiro, because I see that possibility. But what I don't see is anything mystical. So it truly might just be you and your sword, not like any special magic or ninja arts or anything like that. This purely is just like your blade. Let's go.
Now, what I did get from it was a few points. Was it hints that he died and came back?
Yeah, he's the ghost.
He said, Honor died on the beach. That's the line he said.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, also, if you don't know, it's during the time of the Mongol invasion. Yep. So it deals with the Khan. So it's that whole situation where Japan's being invaded by Mongols.
Yeah.
And Mongolia. Where, like you said, the samurais fight with honor, the Mongols do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
So I don't. Once again, like you said, I think it doesn't seem like there's a mythical whole aspect to the game, but we didn't see much gameplay. So it was just some takedowns, some stealth combat, some of that. So I'm interested to see how it plays out, and because it's very straightforward. Is okay, the Mongols came in, they took our land, I got to fight to get it back. That's very straightforward. So I'm wondering if there's some underlying things behind it as well.
Yeah, like more nuance to the
the politics of it.
Yeah, exactly. So was there betrayal or stuff like that, whatever it is. So I'm interested to see more before I kind of commit to, I want to get it. Because like you said, it is very similar to Sekiro, where it's a samurai, it's samurai combat, you're fighting to take down the enemy from revenge, because in Sekiro you died defending
the young lord and all that jazz.
Yeah. So it's very similar. So I want to see if there's anything that sets it apart, aside from more of a third person view. It looks like.
Yeah, it's third person.
Yeah. Sekiro,
Like,
I'm not
horse
sure. What is that
riding,
will
too.
be considered?
Sekiro's third.
Yeah, it's third person. Yeah.
But it's more of a setback. This one's more of a closer.
Well, you're right about
So
that.
it depends
You're right
on
about that.
the camera.
It's
camera
still
distance.
third person. This one
Yeah.
is kind of referred
Closer.
to as third person over the shoulder, like how God of War and Resident Evil 4 did.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say Resident Evil 4.
So,
Gears of War.
Gears of War, yeah, third person
Yep.
over the
Yeah.
shoulder. Like that's kind of what they refer to that as. But honestly, that's the trademark of a Sony first party exclusive. Like they do a third person, heavily story based game,
Beautiful.
and honestly, they're good at that. But the gameplay is
We've seen it
always
before.
kind of secondary. It's like they don't really innovate or do much that's new in terms of the gameplay. They just tell you a cool story with like great cinematics in kind of a very straightforward linear game. And that's not a bad thing. Some people love that, and that's how they want to play games. To me, like that's a very short and oftentimes hollow experience. Like unless the story is really that good. Like in the case of The Last of Us or God of War, I felt like those stories were actually really that good.
I was gonna say Red Dead, but that's all platforms. So
Yeah,
never
like
mind.
that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, never mind.
But what I will say about this though is they did show what some of the gameplay looked like when they first revealed it at that E3. I want to say like two years back, right?
Mm-hmm.
They showed like a one-on-one fight. They showed like two one-on-one fights, I think. No, I'm sorry. They showed a fight against a bunch of people. It was like three guys that you were taking on one by one, and kind of like quick. Do you remember this at all? No. It was like
Yeah, I remember.
quick one button hit strikes where like you had to beat the other guy, and they would like down for the most part. And then it was a longer boss fight in like this field of
when
leaves.
he had the hat on. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And
So-
you met a lady. You met a
Yes,
lady in there.
You met
too.
that lady who
Okay.
was supposedly like your friend, and then like at the end of the demo, it's like, okay, now y'all got beef for some reason, and then like they
Why
they
did
fought
this
in that
look
grass field.
What they showed now look completely different than that.
Are y'all talking about the same game?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
the
we're
same
talking
game.
about the same game.
And
Yeah.
the reason why it looks different is because this trailer was almost no gameplay. They showed none of the game. They showed a lot of cutscenes. They showed a lot of dialogue and stuff, which is what they're trying to highlight. That this is a very cinematic experience. Come and
Yeah.
see what this story is. And
Okay.
me as a player, I
Mhm.
wanted to see more gameplay. Like this doesn't sell me on the game being fun, because it could just end up being kind of a hollow combat experience where, you know, you're going from story beat to story beat. There is stealth. There is like the Tenchu stuff Gamer mentioned, where you're going on roofs and trying to sneak in around sections and whatnot. But I don't know how in depth it is. Like I want to see kind of a bigger example of what the game plays like. And they did give a release date for this. This is June 26th. People were wondering when this game was actually coming out, if it was going to be held until next generation and whatnot. But no, it's coming out in the summer. I think that's like a week or two after E3 is supposed to be scheduled to be happening or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like Sony they're not going to talk about it around E3 time, I don't imagine, because the game's going to be out so soon. So
I mean, I guess we'll keep getting kind of snippets of trailers. That's probably about it. They're not really known for doing impromptu, kind of like directs or anything like that. So
right, that may change since they're going to be skipping E3 entirely, but who knows?
But I'm glad you did say something, because I did not tie those two together. Since you mentioned it, that they were the same game, but
That's
looking
when they
at
first
it,
showed it
you
off.
don't. Yeah, looking at it, you don't see. So I'm thinking that trailer, that gameplay might have been like very early game. Like,
And the thing is, it looks good. Like it
demo
looks
is.
cinematic. I want to know how that feels to play. Like, does it put me in the shoes of a samurai who basically only has one strike? Because that's how samurais fight. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's really not drawn out battles. It's like a quick thing.
Have you fought many samurai?
No, but I did get an A+ in my samurai history class.
Oh, A+.
Oh, wow.
I watched a bunch of
Oh,
Akira
snap.
Kurosawa movies,
Right.
which
Oh,
this
that's-
game is taking
he's a
heavy
samurai then.
influence from.
He's a
Well,
samurai.
I'll tell you something. All that knowledge you accumulated, I learned just from watching One Piece and the Wano arc.
That is the worst.
Wow. And do you
way
have
could
student
learned
debt from
anything
that,
about
Jeff?
samurai.
No debt.
I don't think so.
No debt. No.
That's the worst way you can learn about samurai. You might as well let One Piece teach you about ninjas.
I did.
Yeah.
There are ninjas in there.
He
There are
minored
ninjas
in
in there.
Naruto.
They're awful.
There's Kanochis in Wano, just letting you know.
It's terrible ninja in One Piece. So this is But I mean, any other thoughts on Ghost of Tsushima or its release date?
No. Let's watch it. Let's play it,
more.
man. Yeah, let's play it. Let's see it. I want to see one of us stream it.
I think it's gonna be fun. I would need to move my PS4 from where it is to somewhere else for me to stream that on that.
Is it like in a whole separate plane of existence? Because you're making it seem like it's like really difficult to move.
You see how my hand disappears when it goes off the screen here? Nothing exists over there. Nothing. And that's where my PS4 is.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna move on to our last topic. Blue, you wanted to take the lead on this one.
Coronavirus, bro. Y'all, wash your hands. It's not that hard. Okay, so,
just open it up. Wash your hands.
Yeah, no, but you know, with that same mentality, the Electronic Software Association, they're moving through with E3. They say, look, we understand coronavirus is a thing. We're going to be checking in with the CDC. The city of LA, my hometown, shout out, is in the state of emergency right now. We are, and state of emergency just really means we can get more federal funding. I don't know why I'm saying we when I'm living in Atlanta, but LA can get more funding from the government to help prevent the spread of coronavirus and to help cure people who have already contracted it. So they're saying, look, all this stuff is in order to help, you know, everyone be safe. We gonna roll with it. That's what the ESA is saying. And we're gonna keep E3 going. Now, back on the 2nd of March, they released the statement. They said we're watching it very, very carefully. And then they updated it on the 4th of March, saying, look, we got all our ducks in a row. Still come to E3, wash your hands, and you know we're complying with everything that the CDC says. So, yeah, man.
So even with that, with the ESA saying we're still moving ahead with this,
yes, yeah.
What are the chances you think that E3 actually happens? Because we already know Sony's not going to be there for different reasons. But
so because they're making such a strong statement for like their partnership with the city of LA and the CDC, I think they are going to push through, and Purell is just going to be everywhere, right? But with so many other people pulling out, like I know of some even smaller events happening in LA that are saying, we're not going to do it because of the coronavirus, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and then,
ultimately it's up to the devs and the publishers.
Of course.
The people who attend E3. The actual crowd, because now public people, like public tickets are sold to E3. Are any of those people even going to come? So if they host it, they say, hey, it's E3 time, and nobody shows up, is that still E3?
Well, this is the thing now. So check it out, right? This is kind of the give and take, right? E3, especially as of the recent years, since they opened it public, has been notoriously overcrowded. This might be a good time to go.
Yeah, I mean,
bring your own Purell
about that
and go. Like, I think you're good to go right now, and you're gonna have a good experience because there's gonna be a lot of open room. Now, you know, obviously, if you have
room with what in it, like if Nintendo says we're not going because coronavirus, if Microsoft says we're not going because of coronavirus, if Activision, if Ubisoft, no one brings their staff there to show anything. They say, you know what, let's just stay home and do videos that whole week or something.
I think if too many people pull out.
Because that's what happened with GDC just last week. We talked about GDC wasn't saying that we weren't going to do a thing. It was everyone who was supposed to come to GDC who said we're not going. For them to say, you know what, we don't have enough people here. Like,
right.
And you would think I believe that they would kind of be in contact with some of these devs to know who's coming,
right?
As opposed to just saying, "Yeah, we're still gonna go. We're still having this," and then figuring out who's coming later. I feel like they would have kind of been like, "Is it worth having it?" And in order for them to make that statement, I feel like they would have already had some of these conversations, like, "Hey, I'm having this party. You still coming?"
Yeah, especially when
I don't want to let people know
two solid statements about this. You know what I mean?
But it is still March, you know. E3 doesn't happen until June. Things could change.
Yeah, it's definitely 3 months.
But you got to believe they don't plan this in a month. So,
well, you're right. You're absolutely right. But that's the thing. These developers and stuff, they don't sign a contract either. Like the thing they pay money to hold the space or whatnot.
Oh, true. That's true.
But if they pay the money and they still don't feel like it's worth the risk, Like I don't think they're like beholden to be there and do stuff. You know what I mean? Like they
And also, I don't think
if they don't show up, I think they don't get first pick at that space the next go round.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, E3's kind of dying anyway. It's been on this decline. Yeah. And remember, the last E3 that happened, a ton of journalists and stuff, like people who exhibited stuff, all had their information leaked. This was a big deal.
Yeah.
But you got to think about this.
The ESA still hasn't properly apologized for it. They're kind of on the media's S list, if you get what I mean. Like, no one's happy with what the ESA has been doing lately. So why would they take this risk for their sake?
I think they're taking the risk to redeem themselves. They're saying, look, we got to do something.
Well,
we can't
also,
just crawl back in as
anybody's data could have been leaked anywhere. So you can went to the store and got your data leaked. I'm just saying.
You're right, but in this instance, the ESA
stuff does happen, and you got to believe that they would take safeguards, and there would have been, once again, those conversations would have been had.
You're absolutely right. They should.
And he's saying that safeguards
they haven't.
Yes.
They know for a fact that the ESA has not taken any safeguards to change anything that they did previously. In fact, they
you know this for a fact.
Yes. Because
I want to see your files on this.
I'll show them off stream.
Okay.
But because the thing is, where the ESA stored all that information was literally unencrypted on their website. That's how it got hacked in the first place. So like they took no precautions with it to begin with. So after they made the mistake, they wrote like an apology for it, but did not say how they were fixing it to this day.
So that's well, yeah, I wouldn't tell people how I fixed it because then they're gonna figure out how to undo it.
Yeah, just hey, we took care of it.
But
it won't happen again.
But you would say we fixed it, right?
Yeah, we addressed this particular concern.
Yeah, I'd like
going forward, their data will be protected or whatever.
There was no official statement on that.
No, not in regards to them solving whatever the issue was, which was they literally just had it saved somewhere in their site. And it was accessible by just looking through like the, what do you call that? Like the not HTML, or is it HTML?
I think you're right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of answers to that question.
Yeah.
I am not a web designer, but it was on the website. People who know how to look at the code and stuff for websites found it. That's what happened.
Okay, so look, I just read up an article. This is what ESA's reaction to the data leak was. ESA was made aware. This is a quote from one of their spokesperson. ESA was made aware of the website vulnerability that led to the contact list of registered journalists attending E3 being made public. Once notified, we immediately took steps to protect that data and shut down the site, which is no longer available. We regret this occurrence and have put measures in place to ensure that it will not occur again.
Okay.
I think that's responsible. Like, I mean, that's all you can say.
Is it?
I mean, yeah.
What else you want to say? Like, oh, we did this, and this and that, right? Just to let everybody know what your security is. Like, I'm not telling.
I don't think that's how security works. Though. Like, you can tell somebody we bought the most expensive safe on the market. That doesn't mean that you're telling people how to break into the most expensive safe on the market.
I hear what you're saying.
So
they could have.
Here's something from someone who deals with cybersecurity, more specifically on the side of letting the public know less is more. Because just as Blue stated, if I tell you what we did, then you'll know exactly what to do to break it. If I and even in the sense of, yes, we bought the most expensive safe, I'm not even going to tell you that, because then after that, oh, okay, so they have this is what I need to go do now. Let's work on that. I'm going to try to leave as much to the imagination as I possibly can for any bad actors who's going to try to compromise our system again.
But the thing is, if you know there are bad actors trying to compromise your system, and on top of that, your system has been compromised before, do you feel like just like this kind of vague of a statement kind of makes up for that?
Oh, not at all. But see,
I don't think it makes up for it.
I'm not protecting. That statement is not for the purposes of the people who were compromised. That statement is for the purposes of people who are paying my paycheck.
Right. That's
who that is for. That statement under no circumstances is for the users. The users give two two craps about that. Basically, that statement was to the higher ups, hey,
we did something.
Don't worry about it. We got it. Just you stay up there and keep counting your money. Don't come down and fire me.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like that's not enough.
No, but the other thing that because I was actually just going through my tweets. There's been, not only do we have a lot of conventions, but like fighting game tournaments and whatnot because of the coronavirus are just like Final Combat 2020. That's gone now.
Yeah,
like,
I heard about that.
Just straight up canceled. Like, we're just not taking any chances. We see that there's a whole lot of concerns. But on the other side of that, it's like, oh yes, but all that money and travel and everything else that I put into that, mind you, people are going to be refunded, but it's like, this situation is just keep escalating and escalating and escalating. So you might have an event with nobody there.
And that's
honestly how I feel like
gonna get into.
Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like,
I would kind of see them tracking that and kind of making that decision.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I feel like even it's not the same as, oh, hey, I'm working at this place. I give them 2 weeks. My 2 weeks, I could not show up or whatever it is, or I don't have any obligation to them after that 2 weeks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they would have built a relationship throughout the years to the point where, hey, not pulling out at the last minute. That would be something like, hey, couple months off. We don't see how that would kind of benefit us being there. It would more so put us at risk than anything else. Even though these assurances are made by the CDC and the city, the city of LA, we don't see us going. I feel like those conversations would have already been had to the point where for them to make a concrete statement as far as we are going to have E3.
You think there's a calculated statement?
Yes, I feel like those conversations would have already been had with the understanding that these particular developers are still coming.
And they got to show the room.
I disagree.
Because in order for them to put their foot in their mouth with, hey, we're still having this, and then a month later, well, nobody's coming, so we're not having it.
That's going to kill them.
I feel like
100% going to kill them.
Those safeguards would have already been kind of like, hey, are you coming? Can I RSVP you? Because it's going to cost me money to rent this place.
I'm right. I mean, you're right.
I usually am.
I am sure that the ESA is doing that. They're reaching out and they're saying, "Are you guys coming? Are you guys coming? Are you guys coming?" And the devs are probably also saying, "Well, yeah, we're watching it. We're seeing what's going on." You know what I mean? So like, the ESA wants to have it because they have to have it. Like, they can't not do this. Like,
they could if it say, "Hey, it doesn't make sense. Sony's not coming. We haven't really got any definitive answers for anybody else." And they have the biggest excuse right now, which everybody else is using. Well, not an excuse, but more so of a reason why it would be more understanding if they didn't have E3. Hey, with all the stuff going on with the coronavirus, we have decided to either postpone E3 or to not have one this year and just do a video or a more of a
online thing.
Yeah, off-site type E3 where each developer submits a video.
But if that's the case, the ESA has no reason to be involved because their whole involvement is you pay to be part of the ESA, you pay for your convention center space, you pay for this, that, and the third. The ESA takes their cut, blah blah blah, and then they get all the press and stuff in one location. Like that's why they're involved in it at all. Like that's the convention portion. If they all go home and make videos, and then they realize, you know what, if we get the same amount of attention from doing this, which costs like 30 times less than dealing with this thing, then the ESA is going to be like, yo, we lost them.
So the way I look at it, this is their last stand, right?
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
think they really have a choice at this point.
Like if they don't do it,
E3,
they want to do it.
Yeah, I think they can. Like I said,
if they don't do E3, no one's going to try and go back ever, right? Yeah. And if they put it on and nobody shows up, it's going to be the same kind of deal. But at least this way they have a chance. If people show up and it's still fun and enjoyable, they can still say we're doing this next.
You got to think, but this is not just some like hodgepodge type of thing they're throwing together. It's not like they'll throw it together and nobody shows up. I mean, put it on and nobody shows up.
People are
in order for them to put it on, they would have already had those. Yes, I'm going to be there. Those RSVPs to say, hey, now it's worth putting it on.
That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but
I don't think it would go on and then them not know people aren't coming. Do you know? You get what I'm saying?
no, that's called a disaster, and those happen.
Yeah.
because like
That's
we're
called
still
a
This ain't
disaster.
the fire
Those
festival.
happen, fam.
This ain't the
The
fire
fi-
festival.
we still it's still like 3-ish months until E3 starts. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's a lot of time to
depending
pull
on
out.
how like if
You
the
trying to make
virus
it seem
stuff
like-
gets worse, like
They
what is to
definitely won't
stop these devs from saying no, we're not
Then
coming?
they would just cancel it then. But I
But
don't
that-
feel like
that's
they
what
would
I'm saying,
put
but
on a
That's what
party.
we're saying.
that's
If you
the
cancel
word. They would
it,
put on-
that's the end of E3.
That's what I'm saying. In order for them to say that, hey, we're still going it on, if and even
I'm saying
now,
they
even
don't.
if
They don't have a choice. If they said they're not going to do it,
Right.
they killed themselves.
Yeah, they like the ESA
That's-
can't say
that's
that
the thing.
because they like for their sake they need this to happen. So to them, it's all on whether or not this virus
you in their
situation.
books. You know what their books look like?
I mean, have you been watching E3 for the past couple of years? Like
It's
they've been
been
I
struggling.
have, and it's still always like you said, jam packed. Even PlayStation not going, it's still always
Yeah, but it's
been
jam packed of the public, and
They're
it's
still
not
getting that money. How
developers.
much of them tickets?
No, you're absolutely right. I'm not saying that they're not getting paid, right? These guys,
Mhm.
we know these guys are rich. That's not the issue here. The issue is whether this event is going to happen or not, and whether it's going to be enjoyable, and whether people are going to pay attention to it or not.
But
That's
the jam packedness that you're experiencing is kind of
I
an
need you
illusion.
to not talk with your hands. I feel threatened. Just use your words, please.
But think about this though, like the jam packedness that you're talking about
Wait, stop.
is the news from the video game industry as a whole, because Nintendo
Right.
still does
Yeah,
a
yeah, the
thing,
direct.
but
Yeah.
it's not at E3.
Mhm.
Sony's gonna do a thing probably. It's just not gonna be at E3.
I don't know about
Microsoft kind of has one foot in the door because they have their Mixer stuff on the E3 show floor, but their actual
Mhm.
conference is in their own theater, the Microsoft
Yeah.
theater, which is like
Mhm.
in another place. EA
They can
doesn't
do
do
that.
anything on their show floor. They have their own space. So if Ubisoft
The Micro-
does that, if Activision now does that, if no one is actually at E3, but all the news still comes out and the industry is still excited like usual,
E3 is useless.
but it just has nothing to do with the ESA, that's the end of them. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, they're gonna become obsolete at one point. They're gonna become obsolete. This might be the year.
Yeah, this
Like,
year
and
could kill them.
coronavirus might have put the nail in
Yeah.
the coffin for E3. Possible.
That's how I feel. And
It's
it's not like as much as we love E3, much as the industry loves E3, in recent years, the ESA hasn't really done that much to garner the sympathy to be like, you know what, let's take the risk to help y'all out.
Yeah.
Like so, like even on that front, I feel like it's like they're not looking good. Like they don't have kind of like the moral support of the gaming community either.
That makes sense.
What do you think, gamer?
Well, I've never been a fan of E3.
Okay.
I've just never been. I've always gotten more information kind of looking it up myself, because if I want pre-rendered, if I want pre-rendered footage, I'll go watch a movie of something. I care about
most of you.
for the game. Like I care about the games in there, and there has just been significantly increased levels of disappointment. So I'm not looking forward to the fall of E3, but will I be surprised? Not at all, because again, what do you get out of it? The thing that I always equate with E3 is like, it's like you have a buffet. You have a delicious buffet in front of you. Everything looks and smells delicious. You bite into it and it's styrofoam. There's no substance. So you ask yourself, okay, all of this stuff looks pretty, but it's not filling. What's the point?
Kind of
Well,
getting.
Then you have to think about like this then. Would you rather not know about a game until it's released? Or would you rather know that this game is coming out at some point, and the idea of it is what's going to keep you full until the actual game
Like
comes
the
out?
hype machine.
So-
No fingers.
No, I was gonna say. Let me take this one.
Okay, go ahead.
E3 is not the only way.
No,
to
I'm
find
just
out.
saying.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just-
what I'm
yeah.
saying. Especially nowadays, there's much easier ways to find out about new games.
Well,
And-
it's a show. It's all about
Yeah,
showmanship.
but do people care anymore?
Well, that's
PC does.
no the thing about E3 is that it gives people who are outside of the regular video game news cycle to pay attention. Like USA Today, like Good Morning America, like
Okay,
regular
yeah.
newspapers and news outlets like CNN pay attention because E3 is a big show. Like Microsoft is a big company, Sony's a big company, Nintendo's a big company. When they all get together, like that turns heads. So that will be something that's missed that we probably won't get anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get
their
anymore.
corners of the internet and then just throws their content out separately. So like that in and of itself is a valuable thing that E3
and it did feel.
But...
Sorry,
no,
it did feel kind of like the annual battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the big culmination of the year of the industry. Like,
I guess what I'm saying is, do we need this show anymore? It's been nice. It's been, E3 to E3. You're seeing the progression of these companies, but do we need this show anymore? Is it really serving a purpose? Especially with the increased connectability or networking that we can get information straight from our peoples, from the studios. So while it would have been a nice, it's kind of like a video game Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's we need to find something else. We got to do something, like maybe a collective stream that they do. Maybe the ESA puts out like a 24-hour stream and all these companies just put out their own stuff. That'd be cool, but I don't know. Fact is, I see the ESA and E3 declining. It feels like the end of a generation, and that's kind of what we're seeing. You're seeing the tides turn. The console wars definitely isn't what it used to be, and E3 is probably the last relic of that. So
like when Saturday morning cartoons stopped airing.
Yeah.
It's like the world is different now.
Yeah, the world's different, and I think we got to either stay in the past or pick it up and keep pushing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, on that note of keeping it pushing, we're gonna move off of our topics. We're gonna go into our mailbag. Kev Mui asked a question this week.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kev, for writing in. We appreciate it. We asked for more questions last go around.
Padre Mui.
Kev came through. He asked, who do y'all consider to hands down be the best Smash player in the crew?
When he says hands down, it feels like we should all answer like now. You know what I mean? Like, and then debate about it.
I am not generally one who would admit someone to be better than me. I will say KC is probably the better just because I feel like he's played a lot more.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
But I will say I will give him my vote as being probably the best Smash player that I've seen. It's not a compliment. I'm just saying it out of obligation because it was a question in the
He said, "Don't take this the wrong way. I do not like you. These are just facts."
Because when I first saw this question, I went like,
"Yeah, you definitely put
awkward.
it on."
Like,
you were so ready for this.
Because like it's
yeah,
me,
let's get
right?
on
But like, do I look like an a-hole because I think the answer is me?
Let me tell you a story. I just got Smash. I think it was for the 3DS. Mm-hmm. Now I used to be on par with Casey. I think he might not have met it when we played for like 64 and GameCube. Mm-hmm. I think there's where we started to kind of branch out. Yeah. I can play Smash at a higher level. I'm just not very consistent. I'll play to the level of my opponent for the most part. So when I play KC, I'll play a better game than I normally play. So I got the 3DS. I was playing Smash, and you would think after somebody beating you consistently, they would kind of give you a match. You would think that.
Why?
Why not?
Would you think that? Why?
Why not?
Why?
My goal is to beat somebody, but not to beat them to the point where they don't want to play anymore.
No, see, that's not what I was doing. That's not fair.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Now,
Like
if I was a weaker person, I would have not wanted to play. But the type of gamer I am, as far as playing a game that's difficult or fighting somebody that's difficult, my thing is to always learn how to beat that.
And
person.
that's what I was doing for you. Like, what would you have learned if I threw a match?
You might have thought you were when you're spiking somebody.
Yo, that's part of the game. That's part of the game.
But so he beat me so bad that I convinced him to get Mortal Kombat. Now at this point, I've already put. Now, at this point, he won't admit it, but I remember I had put so much work into Mortal Kombat because I felt disrespected. I felt like this man completely disrespected me in Smash Brothers. So I got him and our other buddy Ricardo to get Mortal Kombat 11. Now, at this point, I already had mastered my Ermac.
Because
I think it was 9, wasn't it? It was 10. It was 10. My bad. It wasn't 11. It was 10 because 11 doesn't have Urban. So it was Mortal Kombat 10. And I done mastered Ermac. Like I was online just putting out beatings. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, let's play Mortal Kombat. Let's play. Let's have some fun. And I got them to play, and I was not letting up. I was doing brutalities. Ricardo took the brunt of it because he didn't get a match. He didn't get a round. KC at least won a round.
I won a game. I won.
You didn't win a game.
Yes, I did.
Win one game. It was a match, a round.
That's not true. That is not true.
See, he won a minute, but
he's lying. What do you mean
that's how bad this man beat me in the 3DS version of Smash Bros. That I had devoted my entire life to convincing him to get that, just to beat him
the same way.
But it wasn't
just
the same way. That's
way.
The thing.
It was the exact same way.
He still has it in the back of his head because he never got me back.
But that was the level of how good he is in Smash Brothers when he plays. Because for me, even when I get to, like, I'll make a mistake or I'll catch him slipping, he has the composure to recover from, not let it shake him and allow him for his game to constantly down. I think the worst.
Careful. You sound like you couldn't compliment him.
Yeah, it did sound like
no. Don't mistake that.
I was getting really close there, bro.
The more of advantage you have, I think the better it makes him play. He's still a douche, but it does make him play better. You know what I mean? And like I said, prime example is what he did to my man last week when he was winning. But it's 3 stocks to 1. He did not have to spike that man.
Look, the opportunity presented itself.
Oh man,
it's automatic at that point.
Exactly. So you're automatically a douche. That's what you're saying to me. It's like when you
if I trump you on the ledge, you have no ledge of vulnerability. The first thing that Toon Link can do if he jumps is a down A, which in 50% of the cases will spike whoever just got trumped because the first thing they want to do is get back to the ledge. It's built
like
in.
70% of the case.
Me subconsciously thinking hey, I'm winning by 3 stocks. He got 1 stock left. I can take my time with him. I can let him.
I definitely.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying with that. Yeah, like that's overkill at that point.
Yeah,
I'm showing my opponents respect because even in situations where
it's not like he was gonna lose.
Right? You don't know that. You honestly don't know that. That's how I feel about Smash in general because I'll play like a bad game where like maybe I self-destruct or something like early on, and some people throw the match away at that point. They're like, all right, I'm not going to win, or like the match is never decided in my head until it's done. So even if I am up 3 stocks to 1, I'm not going to all of a sudden, like maybe in certain instances, like if I'm playing like someone who's blatantly just not at all good at this game, but like, if you're playing this game, you're trying to be competitive, I'm going to treat you like an opponent throughout the whole match.
So you going to play hard?
I get that.
You going to try to win?
I'm going to try to win, yes.
You're going to try to do what you got to do to win, right?
That's respectful to my opponent.
I was making sure you try to do what you got to do to win.
I would expect the same thing from anyone playing me. Like, I would feel disrespected if you were like, you were destroying me and then you started doing like nonsense in the corner because you got 3
I get that.
I'm not saying dance on the dude, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. I like that tenacity. You know, I compare that to my tenacity on Overwatch.
Yeah, I don't know if that really connects.
I said I compare that.
I feel like that's a bit of a stretch, but
I don't think so at all. I think the motivation.
I mean, I understand beating me and then calling me trash.
Nobody called nobody trash.
Yeah.
The other day,
nobody called nobody trash.
You was like, Jeff, you trash, and I was like, damn.
Y'all know that's a lie. 100% a lie.
I was like, tell me how you really feel.
100% a lie. 100% a lie.
It is a lie. It is a lie, but it sounded good. It was a good story.
It did sound. That's what gets me about Jeff. Jeff be telling people all kinds of lies, and they sound real as heck. And I'm trying to convince people, like, we never had that conversation. And Jeff knows me so much, he'll be saying the same things I say. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what's funny? And this is a side thing. Somebody at work once told me that. He's like, because it was somebody that worked for me. He's like, are you serious? Because I can never tell if you're serious. He was like, you might be serious and you might not be serious.
Yeah.
And it's just a gift.
Yeah, we'll call it.
People jump at the parties with us and Jeff say some wild stuff. I'm like, y'all don't respond to him. That's just what he does. If you respond, he'll keep going. It's just. But anyway, yeah, we'd have to give it to Sigma for top Smash Play. But I will say Gamer's a very close second, especially with his with.
I would say Gamer is second. I would not say he's
Joker.
A close second though.
I could take Joker.
I would.
His Joker can't beat my Zelda. I'm just calling it like I see
Okay,
it.
first of all, let's just talk about how y'all use just cheap characters. Everybody who punches
Joker is not a cheap character.
Whoa. Excuse me.
Single lost his mind.
Who is using a cheap character?
One, I was just trying to get a rise out of you.
He was ready to fight over that one.
Like, Toon Link is not even considered, like, high tier. He's, like, mid-tier at best.
I
just do best with him.
What I do hate is Zelda's Knight, just that sword going through
I hate
everything.
her neutral B. Like, her...
You do hate it. That's why
her
I use it so
love
much versus
feels
you.
very
It's
unfair.
like, that shouldn't be able to stop a physical attack.
It shouldn't.
That should be able to stop
Like,
one.
I do a
but it-
sword, not a projectile.
Oh my goodness. Let's do that another time. Let's do that another time because I have plenty of problems with hitboxes in Smash. We can talk about that.
Says the guy with tank armor, with that heavy man. What is it? The tough guy mechanic.
Tough guy?
Yeah.
He needs something.
Putting drop kicks through.
He needs something.
Through attacks.
He needs something.
This
At least
make
I'm not
it kill
punching
you.
through a stage, my dude.
You know what? I'm just gonna sit back with my Isabel and my Little Mac, and you guys
Isabel and Little Mac. That's his bread and butter.
Isabel and Little Mac.
I do like his Little Mac.
I'm either gonna hook you off the side of the stage and then throw you off the side of the stage, or I'm just gonna punch you really hard.
I do like his Little Mac. I don't like his.
No one likes Isabel. No one likes
Lizzie. I don't like Lizzie.
It's Isabel.
I respect his use of her trapping. Like that's a level of gameplay that's like a step above like just the basic mechanics because you have to plan ahead for that and you have to react to like people falling into stuff. Like that's how I tend to play most of my favorite characters.
I don't like your Squidward.
My Inkling.
Your Inkling.
Yeah.
So Kev, just to let you know, right now I think we kind of agree Sigma's the best. That's just for right now. Hopefully we're gonna meet
those
today.
two.
Yeah, I don't think
Excuse
Gamer
me.
agrees.
Excuse me. Gamer,
But
who do you think is the best on the squad?
with you because out of this group, I do think you're the best of everyone else.
He said everyone else.
Yeah, not because
we can solve that. We can solve that today.
Like if you who is your main though? Like is Isabel your main or?
It's always between three. It's either Joker, Isabel, or Little Mac.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just like right off the bat, I don't know who this person is. Let's see how they play. Little Mac.
I'll be honest. The only thing that could give me a challenge from you is your Little Mac. Your Elizabeth and your Joker. I don't know.
He's calling her Elizabeth.
Is a bell.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
I'm just saying.
This man's.
I've known you for 3 years. You
Mac.
don't know my name.
He plays
respect on my
everybody that
name.
has a whip and calls everybody boy. That's his strategy. He just gets in your head. You know what I'm saying?
My goal is to be able to play, and I don't get enough practice with him, is to be able to play Richter to the level that, what was the guy name in our first tournament who played Simon?
Cheese.
I want to be able to play my Richter to the level that he played.
Yeah,
And you hit a block to a certain point where I'm not sure how to take it from. No, the goal is to always keep something coming out. Is to make you jump, to make you. It's always a goal with each projectile to make you do something that I want you to do.
It's throwing
It's
stuff.
zoning and then reacting to mistakes. Like
Yes.
Biggie Cheese was really good at that with his.
Mm-hmm.
And I did get a chance a while back to play him one-on-one like a bunch of matches. He was destroying me for the most part, but I did win some matches off of him with Inkling. Like my Toon Link, like his projectiles beat mine.
Yeah, your projectiles.
Like he can throw an axe through my bomb and boomerang or whatever. Like his beat my Toon Link, so it's a bad matchup in that regard. But my Inkling was a lot better at trying to get in and stopping him from doing what he was doing.
Yeah, because he was a lot faster.
Is I can't beat Jeff on stream.
You know what? That's actually true.
When it counts, you can't beat me when it counts. When the pressure's on,
like y'all. I need to tell y'all on the podcast. I put devastating L's on Jeff before, like some bad stuff. And
listen, I was trying out Mewtwo. I was reincorporating my Mewtwo.
It's not just Mewtwo.
It was
Mewtwo
just
got
Mewtwo.
though.
You can see that today. How about that?
Yeah, later today we're gonna be on it.
Let's see.
We're gonna move on to our last question. Snicks 360 still providing us with the questions. This one's pretty straightforward. What was the most expensive game you have ever bought?
Game or system? Are we talking about software or hardware?
You definitely say game.
Yeah, it says game.
So but that means game, really.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. Whatever you have as an answer, feel free to interpret it how you want. But I know that I paid $200 for the full Rock Band kit.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it came with the guitar, the drums, the mic, and the game. And I had a great time with that set.
Yeah.
So I honestly feel like it was worth it. I had like a bunch of people over like multiple times a week.
That's
good.
good.
I was like
Rock Band was
my first college apartment. It was so much fun. So
what was the name of your band? KC and the Girls?
That makes sense.
You know what? Yep, because it was always girls coming through the crib.
Holy,
you know what I'm saying, man?
Let's see what Rainbow Zero has to say about that.
Anyway,
we are KC and the Girls, and we are here to.
click.
I think the internet muted whatever it was you said at the end there because that just cut out for me. So I don't even hear it.
Okay, I'll see.
That just cut out. But what about you guys?
It is a Scott Pilgrim thing.
Go ahead, Blue.
I think overall, Destiny, the first one.
Oh, because you kept having the.
Yeah, I did buy the DLCs multiple times.
You little thief.
Yeah, that was terrible. No, but actually, if I have to calculate like from the time I bought a game to how much I spent on it now, Final Fantasy 14. I cannot calculate how much money I put into that game. Only because
I charge you monthly, right?
If you send me your bank statements, I can let you know.
Got you, bro. I'll just send. You want my social too?
Yeah.
So the thing about this game, right? There's a $15 a month subscription, plus the base game. I think the base game plus the expansion, and like I ended up paying about maybe $100 for everything for all the expansions, because I ended up buying like the first 3 in a bundle and the last one. Maybe about $150 because Stormblood and Shadowbringers went together. So that's a lot. Plus the in-game optional items and stuff like that. You know,
get
it's not
like on day one. So
what's that?
So you get everything on day one. So everything was always full price with you.
No, not necessarily.
No?
Because I had the bundle, or I had the base game on the PlayStation 4 initially, but when I started playing on my PC, that's when I got the base game plus the Heaven Sword DLC.
Okay.
So I got the bundle there, and then I ended up picking up the other 2 later on. Honestly, with the expansions, it's not that they're not worth it later on, but it's a different experience when you don't get it day one. It's a different experience. So, Final Fantasy 14, I've put in a lot of time, and I've been playing this game for years, though, mind you. And I'm like I said at the beginning of this stream, I'm still playing it. There's still a lot of things to do. So I'm not mad at it either. I think it was a good investment, and there's a reason why it's a $15 a month game.
Right. Maybe. Mr. Gamer, what about you, sir?
The most expensive game I've ever bought was the Take Your Heart Premium Edition for Persona 5.
Ooh.
Which at the time that I bought it was $280.
Oh my God.
Gracious.
Baby Jesus.
So
but
please tell me
you
other stuff came with that.
I absolutely positively love every single Persona game that has ever been released.
Now,
I've played almost every single one.
I was just
what came in that $280?
Right, yeah, I'm curious.
So you got the game, the steel case, the soundtrack, a plushie, a hardcover book, and a school bag, and a collectible box to put it all in.
You might as well.
Did it come with your own persona?
Actually, it did give me a card for an artist for me to have that commissioned.
That would be pretty cool.
That's cool.
Wow.
I like that.
So the answer is yes.
Okay, it was worth it.
Wow, did not see that coming.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So yeah, but like it's like you put Persona on it. I know that we all have that thing, which would actually be an amazing question, but I'll start it. If Persona is in the title, I just have to get it. Do you guys have that where it's like no matter what, if I see that, I already know, Blue. I already know. Like if I see Persona, I'm just getting it. If Star Wars sees Blue, if Blue sees Star Wars, he's just getting it. What about you, Jeff and Casey? Like, what is your? It doesn't even take any thought. It's like, yeah, I'm here. Here's my money.
Honestly,
You see anything Marvel or DC?
oh,
Yeah.
like comics superheroes. Okay.
You gonna get the new Avengers game?
Say again?
Yes.
The new Avengers game.
Yes.
Yeah. You gonna drop that? It looks good. I'm not gonna lie.
It does look good. I was a little skeptical about the character designs, but it's growing on me.
I feel you.
I mean, the further you get away from Avengers, then they'll probably start to look like funny. But for me, it's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Like this is the book set right behind me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my god, I love everything about that universe, the story, the movie, the soundtrack, the game soundtrack, the game. I wish they would. That game cannot be resold on current consoles because of the licensing stuff.
I hate that.
Deal, and
that game was so good.
It was amazing.
That game was really good.
I will say the actress who played Ramona Flowers, she was actually in Birds of Prey.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, Harley Quinn in the.
Yeah.
I get confused with the title because it's changed a few times. But Harley Quinn and the emancipation of something. Yeah,
no, it's
whatever.
Birds of Prey.
She was in that.
It's Birds of Prey.
And the fantastic emancipation Harley
who
Quinn.
Cares? I stopped caring about what the title of this movie is. That's gonna do it.
But she was in that.
Okay, true. That's gonna do it for episode 37 of the BBET GamesCast.
Yeah,
Jeff. If people are looking for you on the internet, where can they find you?
So besides the Fortress of Solitude, you can find me at Superman Jeff 12 on Facebook and on Twitter. Where can people find you, Mr. Gamer?
You could find me at SBRMRGAMER, though I am so glad that I don't have to correct Blue on the smash button review.
Yeah. No, I was just like, let him do it. It's amazing. It's so much easier this way.
It was right there. The smash start. Start. But yeah, so starbuttonreview.com, SBRMRGAMER on Facebook and on Twitter and Mixer and there we go. What about you, Casey?
You can find me on pretty much all social media at Sigma Gears 9. You can find me on Facebook at Sigma and Sun. You can find my 3-minute reviews on escapistmagazine.com as well as your Escapist Magazine YouTube channel. I've got, like I said earlier, Yes Your Grace, most recent review, just posted this past, I forget what day, but earlier in the week it came out. So definitely check that out. Blue, where can people find you?
You can find me, first of all, it's your boy Blue Bones, BLUB0NES. You can find me on Twitter with that handle. You can find me on Mixer with Blue Bones XB as an Xbox. Instagram, Blue Bones. You know what I'm saying? Facebook, Play with Blue Bones. And I did want to drop this little plug-a-rooney real quick. Rebel Squad on Instagram. They got some of my film work that I'm working on right now. It's some cool stuff if you want to check it out. We're about to drop a music video. Let's show your boys some love. We did get to see a little bit of the music video, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. The transitions were cool. The music was good. That was edited by your boy, man.
So big ups to Blue Bones.
Yeah, good looking out.
I gave 2 compliments today. That's my quota for
Yo, this is... Are you sick?
Yeah, are you all right? Should we call someone?
There's like kryptonite in his house. But yeah, definitely look out to the Rebel Squad and check out our streams, our Twitch. Our Twitch is starting to pop. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing people come in constantly. I love it. I want to try and do this week with our Borderlands stream on Monday is do the Echo Cast thing where people can actually jump in and throw enemies in. So that's going to be I think that's a Twitch exclusive thing. I'm gonna work on that and make it work, but I think that's going to be a Monday stream. Look out for that with Umi-chan and Certified Gaming. Oh, and last thing, Certified Gaming, Fat Stacks, it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Give him a little shout out on Twitter. Let's do one more. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So, yeah, that's the gang.
Thank you, Blue. I want to thank everyone who's been watching and listening.
Sure.
I want to thank my 3 hosts, Jeff, Gamer, and Blue. That's going to do it for episode 37. Don't forget to email us at bbetgaming@gmail.com with additional questions, like Kev did, like 6060 did. Show your support.
Yeah.
That's going to do it. Peace.
Deuces.
Peace.